I smell Victoria Newland.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, May 25th, 2023. This is your award-winning Cable Nation Media Assassination episode 1558.
This is No Agenda.
Spinning you down in a spun-up world and broadcasting live from the heart of the Texas Hill Country here in FEMA Region number 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm wondering who's Vanderpump, what does he rule and why, and who cares? I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
Wait a minute. Have you been watching E! Entertainment again? Have you been going on the crazy channels?
TMZ is one of them.
Well, TMZ
they'll spend a half an hour talking about this show. I'd never heard of it.
Vanderpump Rules, of course.
And then they talk about what a genius Andy Cohen is, because he, I guess, produces the show.
Oh, Andy Cohen. Wait a minute. Didn't he initially produce Real Housewives? I mean, he's a mogul in this stuff.
Yeah,
he is. He's a mogul. He's a mogul.
He's the competitor with the other guy, the Survivor guy.
Burnett?
Yeah, Burnett. There you go.
I don't know if he's that big. His stuff is not, I don't know. I guess,
yeah. Bravo, yeah. But they sure get a lot of attention for some unknown reason.
That's true. It's true. Oh, man. So, great week so far. It's been fantastic. Except for Tina Turner dying.
Yeah.
She was sick for a long time, but that really, I had good times.
She seemed to be pretty spry in her 80s.
Well, she had a serious illness. She had all kinds of problems. But man, that was a nice lady. I had a lot of fun times with her.
Yeah, whoa.
Should I tell you one? Should I tell you a fun time?
Go for it.
Okay. So she came, this is when I was in Holland. This is how far back our relationship goes. And she came to, I think she was doing a concert. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was doing concerts. And this is like 84. So as one does, of course, you're coming to the Netherlands, and the top record retailer has to have attention because, that's how it works. It's the way it used to work. The number one guy in retail, you gotta kiss his ass. So the record company set up this special lunch for this guy who was a real farmer. I mean, he spoke farmer English. He was a real, it's hard to explain, but in Holland, people understand when I say it was a real farmer, just like a redneck, basically. And they invited me because she was going to be on my show to interview her. And it's us in this restaurant eating at a table, and this guy presenting this huge, ugly, triple platinum piece of crap that, you can't take back with you. It's just one of those horrible music industry things. And he starts off by, yes, I'm so happy here to have Tiny Turner with us today. And you could just see everyone cringing, but no one dared say, like, dude, it's Tina Turner. Tiny Turner has sold so many records here in the lowlands. We love it very, very much. And she was just, and I looked at her and I said, because I was sitting across from her. It's like, I'm so sorry about this. This is welcome to the Netherlands. And she was so proper, and this was in her, I think, Beyond Thunderdome days. Remember when she came back from England? I'm Tina Turner, I talk like this. Remember that? When she got all Thunderdome-y?
No.
Anyway, once the chicken arrived, I know it sounds racist, but man, Annie Mae Bullock, when she dove right into the chicken with her hands, screw the cutlery, and we had a great lunch. And many laughs ensued over the douchebag. Anyway, just one of the many fun moments with Tina Turner.
So what happened to the trophy?
Oh, I'm sure it got left behind at the record company. No one wants that stuff in their home. It's not a trophy. It's one of those, it's like 4 feet long and has 4, the
stuff you've got
records
on your wall.
Yeah, no, I don't.
You've got it.
Even I don't have the 4 foot long one up. Yeah, I put it in the garage, actually. I decided, new house.
I used it to stop the car.
New house, I decided not to put any of that in the house. It's in the garage, kind of like a Pennzoil sign. That's where I got all that stuff. And then I went up to Beck in Dallas Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
I think it went really well. And I got to tell you, man, it's tempting. I mean, they always like, hey, you'd be great here. The Blaze would be perfect for you. And he's got like this 1934 Bentley, literally in the hallway between studios. This Roadster, beautiful car. Went through his museum again, and everybody looked so happy. They got makeup. I mean, what outfit does makeup anymore? Who has makeup? They got lighting guys. It was makeup. I can't believe you got makeup. And it's just, and I think, no.
Did you get makeup?
Yes, of course, because they got makeup. They got makeup with the makeup lady, the whole makeup room. That's abnormal even in big television. They probably don't do that anymore.
Yeah, but they don't even do it for the local stations here anymore.
No, not at all.
He's a throwback.
Cut the cost, exactly. Just cut the cost. So it was good, and I was able to get in early and jack up the chair. Remember we talked about that? How he has this chair down low.
Yeah, you jacked up the chair.
I jacked
had
up
a little pump on the side.
Yeah, it was good. Like, hold on a second. Let me just sit in this. Let me just make sure I do this. But I think it was good.
They didn't call you out on it?
No, in fact, I start off.
Hey, no jacking up the chair, chump.
No, they were all laughing. I told Beck right off the bat, hey, I came in early to jack up the chair because I looked like a little boy last time. I thought it was funny. We talked a little bit of trans-Maoism. That was cool. Gave the Noah. It was fun to talk about the AI. He was all spun up on the AI. He had that Tristan Harris guy had come on his show. Remember the algo guy who did a little documentary about the evil ills of algorithms in Silicon Valley. He's an ex-Google guy. Hey, you kind of remember.
Oh, that guy. The guy who quit.
Yeah, and so now that guy has moved over from algos to AI is going to kill us. And Beck was like, oh man, but it's really bad. We need this pause. I'm like, all right, I like Tristan for the algo stuff, but come on, let's chill out a little bit. So I gave him the No Agenda spin on that. That was kind of fun. So, and
good, you brought him down. You took him off the cliff.
I did, and now right on cue, 20th Century Fox comes out with probably the yin to the yang of the algo fear.
10 years ago today, the artificial intelligence created to protect us detonated a nuclear warhead in Los Angeles. For as long as AI is a threat, we will never stop hunting them. This is a fight for our very existence.
Yeah, woo! All right, everybody, we're all going to die. The algos. There's like a movie coming out called The Creator, where the evil algo has taken over the world and dropped a nuclear bomb. We never intended for it to happen.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course, we have to recognize the fact that this same storyline has been around since the 50s, maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
Probably, I think it was peaked with the Forbin Project.
The Forbin Project?
Oh,
I don't.
Everybody in the chat room knows this one.
Well, we
the
don't have
Forbin Project is where there's a bunch of these AIs, and they're doing good work, and then they start meeting up.
Good work doing customer service.
Yeah, and then they start meeting up in the cloud.
Oh, in the cloud! Oh no!
And then they become this giant. They realize that they're being used and abused, and they become this giant entity that takes over the place. And if you even try to unplug them, they'll give you a jolt to knock you on your ass.
1970s science fiction thriller film from Universal Pictures. Let's see. About an advanced American defense system named Colossus becoming sentient. There you go. Oh, well, this looks like something I should be watching this weekend on the Amazons or the Netflix. It's got to be around.
You would
somewhere.
enjoy it. It's actually well paced.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those 70s films that are semi experimental. They're kind of out there.
Yeah,
I think it's the best of the bunch.
See, did anyone big star in it? Probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Got a positive review from the New York Times saying it's no Doctor Strangelove. Oh, Academy of Science Fiction Award, Fantasy and Horror Films. Nice. He got a Hugo Award, whatever that is.
The Hugo is the award.
Oh, that is. Oh, no, it's a nomination.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wonder who won.
Well, it got the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy, Horror Films Golden Scroll of Merit. Hey, we should get a golden scroll of merit
Hey,
for
we
something.
should be giving these awards out.
There you go.
I've said this before. I think maybe this will be the year we do the No Agenda Awards.
I wonder if we can do, maybe No Agenda is like the Academy, and we do it under the Podcasting 2.0 banner, so it sounds more inclusive. You know what I mean?
We'll come up with a good. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then how do we make money on this exactly?
We make money through publicity.
What do you mean publicity? What do you mean?
Everyone's going to love us for doing these awards because people. I don't know if you've noticed this, but people in any one industry love to give each other awards, and they're all happy.
Well, this is the problem. There's so many awards already. We have to show that
There's no definitive podcasting award. Name it.
Well, no, there's not.
No, that would be us.
But how do we?
And you're like the perfect guy for it.
That's right, because I'm in it, so I could make it sanction it. I'll go on Rogan. I'll say
no. You're not going to sanction. You're going to be part of the judging committee. You're going to be the award guy,
and we're going to give Rogan an award.
We should give him an award. He's probably got the best interview podcast there is.
No, we'll just give him an award to make sure that he promotes the awards.
Oh no, he'll get an award. That's what you do. Of course, he's going to get an award.
Who else do we definitely need to give an award to?
Well, Beck.
Beck.
You know who's coming around is Megan.
Megan Kelly. That's right. Top 3 award winners, ladies and gentlemen. The No Agenda Podcasting Awards. I think it's a winner. It's a winner.
I know it's a winner.
Oh, let me temper the excitement. Back to We're All Gonna Die. This happened, and this is such an obvious. And I can, of course. I can believe that the mainstream, the M5M, doesn't understand what this gag was about.
This morning, a new look at the potential impact of AI-generated images after a fake picture appeared to rattle Wall Street.
A simple AI-generated fake image.
I love how they say appeared to rattle Wall Street. That's a good one.
Images after a fake picture appeared to rattle Wall Street.
A simple AI-generated fake image sparked about a $100 billion stock market move.
Yesterday, numerous Twitter accounts shared this fake image showing smoke billowing near a white building, leading some to believe an explosion occurred near the Pentagon when, in fact, no such incident took place. While ABC News has not determined the source, the image contains the hallmarks of being made with artificial intelligence.
Hallmarks! There are 3 fingers everywhere.
Talk all the time about social media platforms. Every story is flattened. You can't tell where it comes from or who is producing it. This is a perfect case in point.
The image was first posted on Twitter at 8:42 a.m. At 10:03, a Russian state-controlled news outlet tweeted the image to its millions of followers. The stock market took a dip over the next several minutes until 10:09, when authorities made it.
I think what they're talking about is the fact that RT ran a story on this, and so that is now categorized as a Russian state media outlet instead of just saying RT.
Russian state-controlled news outlet tweeted the image to its millions of followers. The stock market took a dip over the next several minutes until 10:09, when authorities made it clear there was no explosion. Experts have warned of hyper-realistic fake images deceiving people online as the accessibility of AI-powered tools grows.
This is only the smallest effect that can only grow. So what we're seeing today is only a small example of what is to come as this grows in complexity.
Industry leaders have pointed to AI's ability to solve problems quickly, and the technology has already contributed to medical research. But last week, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, urged lawmakers to act quickly to regulate artificial intelligence.
My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world.
Many of the Twitter accounts that spread the hoax carried blue check marks, which previously meant the accounts were verified. But under new owner Elon Musk, Twitter now gives a blue check to any account that pays a monthly fee.
This is a great multi-layered report that ABC brought us. We get to slam Elon Musk with his blue check marks not being official, not being checked, like really verified. We get to slam Russia. Somehow we get to hype up the great Sam Altman, the altruistic douchebag du jour, who, by the way, at ChatGPT, his outfit is coming to smartphones, so they're releasing an app. Oh, I'm sure he really wants to halt everything. No. But what this is so obvious, and we could have done this. I'm kicking myself. The algorithmic, not AI, but the algorithmic trading, the algorithms on Wall Street have been trained to take a look, to be watching Twitter for positive and negative stories. So of course, someone sets a whole bunch of shorts in place, and then releases some AI image. It's not that hard. Once it gets into the right spot, and you get a couple buddies to retweet it, that starts to go viral, and then the stocks start to go down. This is a genius move. So, ABC didn't catch that part of it. That it's not Russia. It's traders. So it's obvious.
Well, it's definitely a way to make a quick buck in one day.
Yeah, right. I don't think they can repeat it. Maybe they can. Maybe you can do it over and over again. We'll have to see. Well,
you have to do it offshore. You're going to get in trouble if you try to do it anywhere.
Hence the RT. RT, you get RT.
Yeah, I've always felt, and if you listen to the show, anyone listens to the show over the years, I've always felt that Putin was a stock market manipulator.
Stock guy, sure. Yeah. Well, there you go. NBC did a report.
Why wouldn't you be?
NBC did a report on this as well. It was big news. It was really huge.
A viral fake picture followed by a real dip in the markets Monday.
The Dow now down about 200 points. The S&P down about 0.25% right now.
The fabricated photo posted to social media seeming to show a fiery explosion near the Pentagon. Experts say most likely made using artificial intelligence.
Ooh, how about Photoshop?
Photoshop could do this better.
And
it doesn't take days. You could do the Photoshop in just a few minutes, cut and paste, and it's just like, this is the part of the story I don't get.
Because it's blockchain.
Just
new blockchain. New blockchain.
It's caused by blockchain.
Blockchain is going to kill us.
Say most likely made using artificial intelligence. Look closely. See how the grass blends into the concrete here? Part of that black pole disappears behind this barrier, and the fence itself looks off.
Can you see the hole there? Yeah, apparently a jet went in there, and there should be luggage all over the lawn. And why is that lamppost still standing? Where was that analysis, NBC?
All of us, both within the DoD and I'm sure in the journalistic community, have to take a look at these things and make sure we get the facts before we make assumptions.
Oh, yeah.
Experts and officials debunked the photo within minutes, but it only took seconds to spread fast. Retweeted by a Russian propaganda outlet, shared by another account with 1 million+ followers, and rocketing its way towards Wall Street.
Why don't they identify these entities? What is wrong? What is wrong with identifying which accounts actually did this? This is the baffling part to me.
Part of the problem, the fake image was retweeted by accounts with blue check marks, including one pretending to be Bloomberg News, which has since been suspended. Blue checks on Twitter used to mean the account really is.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is good.
I forgot that. That's true. It's part of the story. Some bonehead just called himself Bloomberg News and spent the $8. Got the check mark.
Blue checks on Twitter used to mean the account really is who it says it is, but not anymore. Experts warn this may not be an isolated incident for long.
I think this is the canary in the coal mine. We are going to see more of this. We're going to see more disinformation, more fraud, and we are almost certainly going to see this interfering with our elections in 2024.
Oh, there it is.
Tech companies are rolling out plans to put digital fingerprints on pictures so it's easier to tell what's fake and what's not. Mm-hmm. Like Adobe today announcing it'll integrate AI into Photoshop.
Oh, that'll help. To make it easier. But I think the point here is from a government standpoint, we need rules and regulations around this new blockchain. Yeah, you know what this is going to lead to? Online identity laws. That's why they bring in the Twitter check mark. So now whenever you post anything anywhere, they'll come up with some cockamamie law. That you can't be online without.
No, they've been trying to do this for a decade at least.
I know, but here it is. You go online, you'll have to identify digital identity. Yes, this is problem reaction solution. Beautiful.
No, they won't pull it off. They've been trying and trying, and it just has not worked.
I'm not saying they'll pull it off, but they're going to try.
Well, they've been trying for at least 10 years, maybe longer, probably 20.
I'm just yes, of course, but it's the beauty of it all. There's the beauty of it all. We got a lot of boots on the ground reports for today's show. Got a dude named Ben, anonymous, of course. Boots on the ground report about how AI is being used in the IT software testing industry. I'm a manager for a global software testing company. We've recently introduced a couple of new testing tools and strategies to pitch to new and current clients. A lot of it is your typical run-of-the-mill IT QA software testing nonsense. However, something I stumbled onto the other day, they are now selling themselves as the world's leading AI-powered quality engineering company. So, of course, he looked into this machine learning-based testing recommendation they are selling to their clients. And he says, the problem is, and it's the reason why I'm bringing this to you, because in the great words of John C. Dvorak, it's a scam! This brand new tool is just a spreadsheet with a bunch of formulas and macros. And he actually sent us the spreadsheet so we could have this AI for ourselves. And this is what they are now branding as an AI testing tool, a blockchain AI testing tool.
When are they going to combine the AI and blockchain? Now you're talking.
I don't know. I mean, ever since SBX and Bankman-Freud thing what's his name? What's up with him? When is he going to jail?
Oh, he's hanging around the house, stinking up the place.
He needs to go to jail.
Take a shower, dude.
I am sad because of all this AI nonsense. My favorite pay-for search engine is going out of business.
Yes, it went out of business.
Yeah, it's shutting down the end of this month, Neva. I'm very sad about that.
A lot of people are irked about it. They've just been writing in, or I noticed it on the No Agenda social.
Yeah.
They're complaining. They said, well, I took Adam's advice and this is what I got.
Now, that's not quite the message they're sending.
I thought that was the message.
But what that kind of makes me think is, this AI nonsense, the idea that you can type in a natural language query, i.e. English, and type a question or fill in your native language here and get back an answer is killing Google's own search business. No one will want to do that anymore. Everybody will want to have this. And Neva, clearly a small company, they tried to do it without advertising and by asking people to pay $5 a month. They couldn't afford it because it's unaffordable. You can't have you got to say generative now. That's what CNBC says. All generative AI, which is more like
that's a good word.
Decentralized blockchain. Generative AI. It's too expensive. Just can't handle the load. So we'll see how that goes. And then
I'm still waiting for your phone.
So don't you? It's coming. It's coming. You want to change topics?
Yeah, I want to talk about killing the poor.
Oh, that only happens in Canada.
No, I'm going to show you. I'm going to prove you wrong.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let's play the Canada clip first. This is from, I believe it's CBC, and this is an interview with a poor guy who's going to get thrown out in the streets, and he just decided, hell with it. I'm too old and sick to live on the streets. They're going to kick me out of my place, so I'm signing up for the MAID program, MAID, the something.
Medically assisted
death.
Induced death, I think.
Medically assisted,
induced death. Wow.
So,
all right, here we go.
MAID. I like the way they use that one. MAID. Canada MAID guy.
Amir Farsood has applied for medically assisted dying, known as MAID. He lives in constant agony due to a back injury, but has started the process for end of life because his rooming house is up for sale and he can't find anywhere else to live that he can afford.
Hold on a second. I don't understand something. The acronym is MAID, and she says medically assisted dying. What does the I happen in there? Is that just to make a cool acronym?
I think so. But it could mean something, but they'll come up with something. But yeah, it's a cool acronym. Get it? MAID.
Amir Farsood has applied for medically assisted dying, known as MAID. He lives in constant agony due to a back injury, but has started the process for end of life because his rooming house is up for sale and he can't find anywhere else to live that he can afford. He barely survives on Ontario disability support payments, which are just over $1,200 a month. He doesn't want to die, but being homeless is not an option.
I know in my present health condition I wouldn't survive it anyway.
Farsood meets the criteria for MAID, physical suffering due to disability that cannot be relieved. His doctor, who knows Farsood's real reason for MAID is his fear of being homeless, signed off on the application in August. Wow. Farsood needs a second to do the same. There's a 90-day waiting period. He believes he could potentially access MAID in about a month.
I don't wish to be dead. even with the pain, even with the meds.
What does he say at the end there? I couldn't hear it. He doesn't.
I don't wish to be dead, even with the pain, even with the meds.
He's saying, I don't wish to be dead.
No, he doesn't want to be dead.
Well, then why is he going to get made?
Because he doesn't want to be homeless more than he doesn't want to be dead.
Wow. Well, homeless sucks.
Here we go. This is from one of our local, mynorthwest.com. During a city council committee hearing this week, Seattle City Councilwoman Sarah Nelson questioned a group of public health workers that the city funds to tackle the fentanyl crisis. What are they being used for? But as the fatal overdoses soared to historic highs in Seattle, the city and King County are not pushing treatment for addicts. Instead, they're using a harm reduction model that seeks to make drug use safer by handing out needles, pipes, and other tools to enable the addict to continue abusing drugs. And they're now acknowledging treatment is not part of their goals. This is part of an effort by these cities, Democrat-run cities, I had to say, to kill off their homeless. This is a murder mechanism. No, we're not going to treat you. Here's a free crack pipe.
Well, that's the same in San Francisco, the same in New York.
San Francisco's been giving out free crack pipes. New York,
yeah.
And places where you can shoot up. Yeah, come on in, shoot up. Oh, you shot up too much, you're dead.
Well, I mean, it's cruel, but it's probably more effective than anything else they've come up with. I mean,
the Canadians are using this MAID thing. Say, here, sign this.
Why don't they try some fentanyl? Fentanyl seems to be killing.
We should lay some fentanyl.
Fentanyl seems to be killing our people just fine.
I mean, nobody's doing anything. Let's
be
back.
Honest
If we
about it,
step back, let's just step back. They're not doing jack about let it come on in, fentanyl people. They're letting the fentanyl flow in, and if it kills a bunch of people, if it kills, I don't know, what's the number? 100,000, more than that? There's a lot more than gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
Youth and bums and the homeless all dropping dead left and right. This is one way of dealing with it.
And then people who don't get on the fentanyl, hey, try this Ozempic. You'll melt away.
Here, have another booster.
Did you see that Wegovy, which is the Ozempic competitor, now, it's anti-addict. It'll help you with your addiction to drugs. It'll cure your drinking and shopping habits, even nail biting.
No, I have not seen this one.
Oh, it's everywhere.
No, I haven't seen it.
1 in 5 deaths among young Californians tied to fentanyl, by the way.
1 in 5 dead. 1 in 5. Okay, well, they can get that up.
Pfizer is also coming out with a weight loss drug, but you don't need to inject it. It's oral. This big story in the Atlantic. Did scientists actually accidentally invent an anti-addiction drug? People taking Ozempic for weight loss say they have also stopped drinking, smoking, shopping, and even nail biting.
And even going out of the house.
And Becky Worley, we first heard this from Becky Worley. She's the one that said this is a body and a brain drug. This is bad. And it may be a brain drug, in the way that it removes your lean body mass, i.e. muscle and, brain tissue.
Could be.
I think we're melting away people's brains.
I think they're trying to get rid of people.
That ultimately, how about COVID? How about COVID vaccine? Yes, too many people. It always comes back to those population bomb people, doesn't it?
Well, with the murderers in Seattle that are giving away addiction products instead of stopping the addiction, these governments, and I don't, I'm not a religious type, but these governments are all run by atheists who don't give a shit.
Or actually do and want to kill people.
Well, that could be too.
What's fascinating is
Satanists are running the San Francisco city government in Seattle. How about that?
I have a clip about that. I actually,
oh, great.
I do. Hold on a second. Where was this? Satanist. I can't remember where I had that. It was on. I'll find it eventually.
Good.
But what's interesting, we're one of the 2 countries in the world where you can. It's Chicago. I'm sorry, not San Francisco. Here.
This is Chicago's very own WGN News at 9.
Local group belonging to the Satanic Temple is suing the city of Chicago. Block Club Chicago reports members allege city council isn't allowing them to say Hail Satan at council meetings. The group's leader says dozens of religious groups have given invocations in front of city council since they asked to give one 4.5 years ago. He says that violates their First Amendment rights. The Satanic Temple is a federally recognized religion with congregations across the country.
But dynamite.
There you go.
I think they should. I think they should be allowed to say it so that we can identify them.
I think so. I agree.
Yeah, do that. So we're one of the 2 countries in the world where you can advertise and market directly to end consumers any pharmaceutical product, which of course is how we get all this Ozempic crap. And I mean, literally, if you're watching TMZ, if you watch it in the evening, you will see hamburger, fries, chicken, Ozempic, hamburger, fries, depression, hamburger, chicken, Ozempic. I mean, it's so obvious what's going on. And of course, the news can't report on it. That's why it's so brilliant when you watch Australian television, as an example.
Back on his feet after a harrowing ordeal.
All I did was go and take a vaccine.
Now Chris Nemeth is fighting for justice.
I couldn't walk, I couldn't work.
The once healthy 49-year-old became wheelchair-bound after developing a chronic neurological disorder called CIDP. He says the symptoms began 2 weeks after having his first AstraZeneca vaccination in 2021. They included headaches, tingling fingers, facial palsy, and stolen mobility.
I was paralysed completely from the waist down.
Mr. Nemeth is still unwell and claiming millions of dollars in compensation under the federal government's COVID-19 vaccine claim scheme. He's one of more than 3,000 unlucky Australians maintaining COVID vaccines made them ill.
So they're giving out compensation to people. Because you can report on that in Australia because it doesn't cut into your bottom line.
Right, you can't do that here. And I've heard nothing but people complaining on and off in local news reports that they can't get any money out of this big fund that they put together.
Oh, our fund, you mean?
Yeah.
No, of course not. That's not supposed to happen. And now startup Noom is adding Ozempic and other weight loss injectables to its offerings because, quote, outcomes are so much better. So you don't even need to go to the doctor. You just get on the app.
I know. You actually could get away with not going to the doctor for most things now.
But in the UK, where people are clearly trending towards obesity because of their incredibly poor diet, that really is because of poor availability of good food, but also they drink like fish, and there's evidence that a lot of their obesity comes from drinking. They're putting Ozempic or something like it on the NHS, so you can get it for £5. Just ask your professional.
Yeah, no, this thing just happened almost overnight,
and it's been around for quite a while. That's what's interesting.
It wasn't selling. I mean, the diabetic folks,
selling. Exactly. What can we do with this thing? What does it do? Well, I don't know, Bob. It melts your muscle and a bit of your brain. Oh, let's see if we can get a good test out of it. Yeah, hey FDA, come on.
We got marketing people in this country that are just the best.
Yeah. Yes. Although they're making some mistakes with their marketing of trans pride. This is becoming a problem. Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch, I mean, now they're talking about it on CNBC. They expect their revenues to be down 26%.
Yeah, what is that in billions?
That's a lot of money. Of course, you cannot help but notice that their stock price is down. more than 10%, and Coors Miller, their stock price is up. So, and that's.
Has anybody thought of this possibility?
Mm-hmm.
The guys that are pushing this ESG and all this crap, and they want to make these guys, go in this direction.
Mm-hmm.
They're all investment companies.
Yep.
BlackRock and various hedge funds.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I think you're right.
Let's just bomb these stocks, and the Target is the next target.
Well, here it is.
Target.
By the way, you can't get a really good report on U.S. media about this for the same reason you don't get it about pharma. Target is a huge advertiser. So everyone's very cautious, but you go to Australia.
Target, the Target have got in trouble for tuck-friendly, I'm glad they got in trouble, tuck-friendly swimwear for kids. What is tuck-friendly swimwear for kids, Rita?
Oh, gosh, I'd rather not just, but you can imagine.
Oh, hang on, I recognise that flag in the corner of the thing.
So they're putting these displays very prominently of all these political messaging on kids' clothing and even things like that. I mean, normalising kids tucking their genitalia as if they're Leah Thomas about to take on the females at an NCAA championship.
It's if you look around on the socials. I'm not on TikTok, but I'm sure it's big there.
Oh yeah,
people are. I'm not going to buy at Target anymore. And honestly,
and there is a hashtag going around saying boycott Target.
And if you look at Target stock price, May 15th it was 160. Today it's 139. And if you look at Yahoo Finance, you'll see that this LGBTQ controversy is hitting the financial news. But the real problem is not just the marketing. Oh, man, Alex Stein, Alex Stein, the guy who goes to all of the council meetings and pretends to be LGBTQ.
Yeah, that guy, he's the best.
So he went into Target and he put on one of these tuck bathing suits and he came out of the dressing room and he's talking to the staff like, "Oh, it's so great! Look, you can't even see it. It was completely insane." That guy's so funny. But what just like with Anheuser-Busch, it wasn't just the Mulvaney character. It was truly the marketing VP that I think who clearly didn't said, our customers suck, is what she basically was saying. And now you've got the CEO.
That's what she did. She not basically.
Yeah, that's what she did. And now the CEO of Target, he did an interview on a podcast, I might point out, saying, this is great for our brand.
Yeah,
we love that. So this is the mistake they make. And now what's going to happen is you have people who do not like this. They don't like their kids being literally targeted in this way. And you can just count on it. The trans community is going to boycott Target as well for not standing their ground.
Yes, it's a classic, and it's a beautiful maneuver. And I'd have to say, my thinking, as you know exactly what I'm going to say. The idea is to slam the stock, and there will be a trigger.
Yeah.
When do you buy back? That you buy back if you're going to trade. And this is not investment advice
at all.
This is an observation I'm making because this is too fishy. And this guy, I looked into this guy who is the head, who the CEO of Target. And you should look him up. He's on Wikipedia. He's got a kind of a sketch. I mean, he's been here and there and everywhere. But he looks like one of those guys that he's like a rent a CEO.
Rent a CEO.
Mm-hmm. They bring him in. This is great.
Brian Cornell.
Slams the stock. The thing goes below 100. Who knows how far down it could go. The trigger is they fire him. Then you the buy signal.
Then you buy. Let me see. Where has he been before?
PepsiCo.
Safeway. I was a big guy. PepsiCo.
Safeway ruined Safeway.
Sam's Club.
Safeway stinks.
Office Max. The Home Depot.
What happened to them?
Oh, man. This is interesting. Well, next on deck is the North Face. The North Face clothing?
Yeah, North Face. But is that publicly held?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's find out. You have your Yahoo thing open.
Consult the book of knowledge.
I don't know. I don't know if they're publicly held. Is it a part of some? I think so. Yeah,
because if it's not publicly held, then it
is it VFC Corp? I think so.
North Face is definitely going.
They're going down. Yeah, I mean they got some.
The word is in the business. There's a word for it. It's called eating shit. That's what's going to happen.
That is the technical term for what's about to happen.
Technical term.
Yes, technical term. Very interesting.
They're owned by who?
VFC Corp, I think. I'm not sure.
There's North and NFC Asia, North Face Capital Holdings.
No, that's something else.
That was just a money manager.
Yeah. We got a whole, too many to even read, a lot of boots on the ground reports. And this one I just have to share from Dame Jamie of the Highway. And I put Dame Jamie's whole note in there, but I was told I could just root around. John Adam, I thought it was time to give a boots-on-the-ground report of a few things that have been discussed on the show. A little background about myself. I was assigned male at birth. I've been gender dysphoric my entire life. I was officially diagnosed in the late 80s, and I formally transitioned to female in 2003 at the ripe old age of 40, which I think you and I both think is fine. You do whatever you want.
Yeah, you're way past the age of consent.
Yes, and certainly if you're a dame and you've donated to the show, we're good with you.
Oh, you're the best.
So between the diagnosis and transition, I had an experience I want to tell you about. During the 90s, I was diagnosed with, so this is Dame Jane telling us the story of then and now. During the 90s, I was diagnosed with low testosterone. I got a minimal dose via injection from the doctor. The next few days were living hell. I'm normally a very calm person, but during that time, the smallest thing would send me into a rage. This is your roid rage that you were talking about. This is the danger of giving, even adolescents, these chemicals which can send people into a rage. Then the aromatase kicked in after a few days, turning the testosterone in my system into estrogen, and I was in love with the world again. Several months later, I did it again, same result. If that happened to me with my male body, I shudder to think what happens with a female body. Back then, I was diagnosed with gender dysphoria. The only way to get hormones or surgery was to follow the Harry Benjamin standards of care. Harry Benjamin is the guy who wrote the book on this. And this is what it used to be in the 90s. A minimum of 13-hour-long visits with a psychiatrist trained in gender care. Once that was completed, the highly coveted get-out-of-jail-free letter showing that you were a patient under professional care and not some pervert hanging out in the ladies' room. Then a referral to an endocrinologist for hormones. Then you had to live full-time in your new role for a minimum of 1 year with regular visits with your therapist. After a full year of full-time living, you need to see a second therapist. Both therapists would give letters of recommendation for surgery, which I'm sure they would give you. At this point, you need to come up with approximately $20,000 needed for the surgery, assuming male to female. The other way around is a lot more expensive. All in all, it took at least 2 years from start to surgery. And of course, now it's, one visit with given by the school behind the parents' back to teenagers. And preteens. So now this is the part that's quite amazing, what Dame Jamie writes to us. What most people don't realize is that the war on absolute truth is the oldest war of all. It's the war on God. If we can make our own reality, then we are our own personal gods. And it's that last part that brings me to what I've been meaning to write to you for the last few months. The blatant manipulation of a very vulnerable portion of our society is reprehensible. My being trans is effectively tacit approval of what's going on, and I can't allow that. My masculine side has been pretty much dominant since COVID started, and I formally detransitioned on my 60th birthday a few months ago. With that, I formally petitioned the Peerage Committee, that's you, John, for a title change from Dame Jamie of the Highway to Sir Jamie of the Highway. How about that?
Well, that's easily approved.
But isn't that something?
That is something.
I commend the future Sir Jamie of the Highway for the courage. I
commend the fact that he wrote this letter.
And what courage that takes. I really appreciate that. That to me was just mind-blowing.
Well, he stopped short of saying Satanism.
Well, yes. Stop short of it, but basically said that.
And I will get off that kick immediately.
No, well, but here's something that was rather interesting. You know the Wachowski sisters? Wachowski sisters?
Wachowski, yeah, the Matrix.
Yeah, the Matrix.
Men turned women.
Yes.
And for background, make sure everyone knows, this started off with one of the brothers transitioning, pissing off the other brother.
Yep.
For about a year. And so they said, okay, well, I'll transition too. So they both became women.
So Lily talked about this in a recent interview. I think this is Khan, probably a podcast, although it was in front of an audience. And now, because there's a distinct difference, what we're discovering, you have teenage girls who are going through middle school. They're having all kinds of issues, all kinds of problems. Of course, not helped at all by social media and apps and the phones, etc. For boys, it's very different. You're unattractive. You're never going to get laid. You're stupid. By the way, the whole Western world has told you if you're white and you're a male and you're cis, you're a loser. There's nothing for you.
A loser.
Nothing. And if you don't look like these dudes, you'll never get a Kardashian. And it was really interesting to hear Ms. Wachowski explain how she came to be a woman.
To be honest, like for me, the people that I saw, the first images that really struck a chord with me were, trans women and pornography. And there was something that unlocked in my brain that I saw these wonderful, fearless performers becoming desirable. And in my head, I could take the leap where I felt like, well, if I could be desirable, then maybe I could be loved. And for me, that's like one of the keys that trans people have to struggle through. Will somebody love me? And so, yeah, that's my answer, Nick Adams.
That's an excellent answer, Lily Wachowski.
That is an eye-opener. I believe this is probably true for a lot of young men. You're sitting in your basement vaping, playing video games. You feel unattractive. You may be unattractive. You're being told you're a loser. You're no good. And then
by society.
And you're watching porn, and all of a sudden, I could be loved. I can be loved by someone. And this is probably what's going on with me. This hits home, man. I think not with me, but I think there's something going on with that. And then I couldn't believe CBS even put this on the air. Hello, Surgeon General.
Social media. It's entertaining, and some teens can't get enough. But America's top doctor is sounding the alarm.
There is not sufficient evidence for us to conclude that social media is, in fact, sufficiently safe for our kids.
Up to 95% of 13 to 17-year-olds report using a social media platform, with more than a third saying they use social media almost constantly. The advisory cited a study that found adolescents who spent more than 3 hours per day on social media face double the risk of poor mental health outcomes, including depression and anxiety.
How urgent is it?
That we have seen an increase in depression and anxiety, in suicide, in loneliness among young people. There is a full-blown crisis that's taking place in our country right now.
Wow, finally we admit it.
Why do you think this is a surprise that CBS would play this? And I'll say this, TikTok is eating into their lunch too.
Yep, you got to believe
Advertising dollars go, they don't go, you got some money to spend, you can't spend it everywhere.
That's right. That's right.
I think the network TV people should have gone into this years ago. They could have brought this up. It hasn't changed any, but now that they're losing money, it's embarrassing to watch these news shows and all the drug company ads.
Yep.
For crazy stuff to be things that nobody. I mean, how many people are have some of these conditions? Very few.
And let's add to this boots on the ground. I meant to send this email last week after John first pondered whether the Tennessee shooter was on testosterone because it jarred some memories for me of my days as a farmer rep. Yes, I will have to atone for that. The best thing I can say for myself is I hated that job and was shit at it and worked as few hours a week as possible. But I sold Zoloft for Pfizer. Woohoo! Someone's accused me of being a woohoo girl. I got to stop doing that. Stop me if I do that again.
No.
Yeah, please do, please. I sold Zoloft for Pfizer for 20 years, and it was a known fact that patients had a higher incidence of suicide attempt and or success after initiating treatment. Let me just read that again. It was a known fact that patients had a higher incidence of suicide attempt and or success after initiating treatment with Zoloft. It was spun to us that depressed patients lack motivation. And once they're on an SSRI, but before they reach a therapeutic dose, they're in a danger zone for causing harm to themselves. I wonder if that's on the little paper that is folded up 1,000 times inside.
We've talked about this phenomenon before, and the causation seems to be that, yes, it does lessen depression, but it also puts into your brain, there's nothing wrong with killing yourself.
Wow.
It eliminates the second thoughts. Because normally you have, even if a passing thought that I'm going to kill myself, I'm not an idiot, I'm not going to kill myself. The second part of the equation is missing.
Right.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
And Canada's just making it more fun.
Well, Canada,
they give you a maid. They give you a maid to help you.
In Seattle, you get a free crack pipe. So there you go.
Wow, people. Although SSRIs were given FDA approval for minors in the early 2000s, all medicines are used off-label and tacitly promoted for off-label use. So how many school shooters are really on psychotropics, insinuating the Columbine shooters?
Them.
All of them. Yeah, all of them.
Not one, and this is another no agenda thing. We're kind of pushing, I don't want to just blow our own horn, but for the last 15 years, because there's been these shootings all along, we have pointed out that no reporter has ever asked the simple question about, was this kid on drugs?
Except Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson has brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, he's out.
And boy, I mean, there's nothing worse than saying, we'll see you soon on Twitter, and not showing up on Twitter. That's bad. That's not how media promotion works.
No.
Final thing, a lot of people, I put them all in the show notes. And again, thank you all so much for your boots on the ground. Redacted, these have been put under the trans-Maoism heading. A lot of people made suggestions about pronouns, how to handle them when presented with them. And just a collection of what people sent me. I think the best way to handle it is just, whether it's if someone sends you an email and it's in the signature, or I guess if it's from the State Department in the from line, I think the proper response is, please don't worry about your pronouns. I definitely won't be talking to other people about you. I mean, that seems to...
That's a good one.
That seems to be... If someone says, hey, this is the pronouns, no, please don't worry about that. I will not be talking to other people about you. That's the way to go. It's to the point.
I like that one a lot. I mean, Rachel, our producer, one of our producers, suggested that you just say, pronouns make, I feel very uncomfortable.
I like that one.
It goes right back at everybody. That makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's a good one. That makes me, I like that makes me uncomfortable. That's good.
Yeah, it makes me uncomfortable. Oh, we can't make anyone uncomfortable.
Yeah. What was this?
But the other one's an insult.
You were talking about, is it Portland? Is it Portland or Seattle? Who's doing the drugs?
Seattle. Well, they're all doing it, everybody. But Seattle is the one that's been specific, where they actually brought it in front of the city council and they admitted, yeah, we're not doing anything about treatment. We're giving away free paraphernalia.
So we have
That's what we're doing with your taxpayer money.
We have the best producers, the bravest producers. This is the report from the perspective of a young finance director of a small city in Ohio. I'm attending a conference in Portland, Oregon, and the mentality of the officials here is astounding. So what would a finance director, is a finance director basically just takes care of the money for this small city? Is that what the finance director does?
Could do a lot of different
like
things.
A manager?
It could be the CFO.
Like city manager in a way, maybe?
No, city manager is a city manager.
One seminar on affordable housing finance had the presenters begging by announcing the pronouns they use, which I laughed at because you don't use your own pronouns, and addressed the homeless issue with charts and financial policies for urban development. Yet we're all perfectly content in treating the homelessness symptom and not acknowledging the root cause of community disintegration and the apparent lack of the hatred of sin, loving of neighbors mentality that's used to pervade this great land. So many people will say, well, that's just all the big cities when I bring up the drug and homeless problem. Portland has a population of 700,000. I visit Athens with a population of 4 million. Although there's graffiti, Antifa, and plenty of pot, there aren't dozens of people literally twitching on the sidewalks. In another session, I was asked how I enjoy my job as director at such a young age and for a small town. I responded that I love the high-trust environment and opportunity to have a transformative and positive impact on the finances and policies of our residents and city staff. I was quickly corrected that you really shouldn't use the term transformative. The term reformative is more inclusive and fosters the idea that your policy should be reformed to promote the disadvantaged. The woman works for a water utility. Before I could respond with, I'm really not interested in doing that, the next seminar started. He says, it is nuts. It's nuts. And this is people who are running cities.
Yeah, well, that's the Maoist thing about changing the language so you can confuse people. And you're not in our group because you used the wrong word.
And I want to make it sure that make sure people understand when we say trans-Maoism, we're not saying that China is doing this to us. This comes from much deeper. This has been injected.
Yeah, China itself is beyond Maoism.
This is injected into our education system. And everyone's captured. Everybody's captured, except this one little podcast. We seem to be the only one that can keep our head above the water.
We're the only ones that don't have the outrage element.
No, oh man. So okay,
I mean it's humorous. We all get a kick out of it.
There's two stories this is my favorite story. Senators issued satellite phones. Offered demonstrations and upgraded security devices. So now there's story after story after story. There's going to be an event. They're giving the senators satellite phones because the internet's going out. Everything's going out. We're all going to die. It's happening Memorial Day weekend. So
it's happening this coming Sunday.
Yes.
Or this weekend. Monday would be Memorial Day.
So a lot of people are at 5,000 RPM on this. And so I look into it. And indeed, U.S. Senate Arms Sergeant Karen Gibson offered smartphones with satellite chips to all 100 senators. So, first of all, every single article is showing one of those big sat phones with the big clunky thing with the huge antenna on top.
With a giant antenna.
That's not what this is. This is a promotion from one of the Android vendors. Because now, just like the iPhone 14, you can now get satellite service. T-Mobile is starting to offer it. Elon's thing is starting to offer it. But here's what I think is really going on. These 100 senators, because it's a smartphone, it's a full-on smartphone. It's it's just as functional as the phone they're using, and it has satellite in case there's a horrible event. So of course they're going to use this. Oh yeah, I got one of the satellite. Well, guess what else is going to be in that phone?
Tracking.
Yes, tracking, eavesdropping, spying. How stupid are we, people? They're going to spy on your 100 senators. Wouldn't surprise me if this was actually China. Yeah, give them these.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was China.
It's the Qualcomm chip, that does this. And they clearly say satellite chips. So all these stories with the big clunky sat phones like senators.
Yeah, I'm sure that this thing has no ability to hit a satellite.
No, unless you're outside with your left leg up and your right arm in the sky.
Or you have a big, you take out your antenna and put a new one in.
Yeah, I don't know how well they work, but it's first of all, it's a promotion by one of the Android companies, because I saw her hold it up in her testimony. It was not an iPhone 14. And Apple wouldn't, they don't give away stuff. They're not going to give that away. They're cheap. You don't want to Apple doesn't give stuff away like that. Some Android company, and who knows what's in that phone? This is what kills me. So everyone's all spun up over that. And then, of course, the 30 tons of explosive chemicals lost during rail shipment to California. Ammonium nitrate. 30 tons.
I used to have a big sack of ammonium nitrate in my old house. I was working as an air pollution inspector, and I got some ammonia. I was doing inspecting of the fertilizer plant in Richmond that Chevron ran, and I said, and they had ammonium nitrate. I said, can I get a bag, like 100-pound bag of ammonium nitrate? And this is, I knew about ANFO bombs and all the rest, but I wanted this stuff because it was so powerful a fertilizer.
Yeah, for your garden, absolutely.
Oh, it's unbelievable. But what you can do, there's this giant, there's a lot of big lawns. If you can find one of these lawns, you can take like a shaker of ammonium nitrate and spell out, fuck you
John,
on the lawn.
John.
And it changes the color to a rich green, and it grows twice as fast. It's a hilarious gag. But anyway, that's for all you kids out there. Wow. So I had this big sack. I'd use it for this and that. And then one day the basement flooded, and the thing turned into one giant lump of ammonium nitrate. I had to throw it out.
Yeah. If you don't mix it up, we used to mix it because I lived in a rural town back in the day. You'd mix it with some sugar. I think it was just sugar and water.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it would light up like a flare.
Yeah, you could make flash paper and stuff like that.
There's a lot you could do. You could have a lot of fun with it. It's good stuff.
So this headline is from the New York Times. 30 tons of explosive chemicals lost during rail shipment. So everyone around, I've seen the emails, everyone's all spun up over it. And it's in California. They're going to blow it up. They're going to blow stuff up.
They're going to blow up California.
And this is the New York Times headline, but if you look at what really happened was there was a leak in the railroad car, so it probably dripped this stuff out over hundreds, if not thousands
of grass
of miles,
all over the place.
Thousands of miles.
Giant weeds.
The security seals were still in place when it arrived in California, just the car was empty.
It leaked.
Yeah, it leaked. But the headline, 30 tons of explosive chemicals, and it's behind a paywall, so all you do is just screenshot that, and we're all going to die. Here, this subhead. The chemical ammonium nitrate is relatively harmless by itself, but it's caused deadly explosions in industrial accidents, has been used in targeted attacks. F you, New York Times. That's clickbait.
It's total clickbait.
That's clickbait. And people fall for it.
You're beside yourself.
And why would people, they just make screenshots. Oh! That's what...
Screenshots are fun.
Yeah, but it's
misleading.
It hurts. This is why we're here. We spin you down in the spun up world.
Can I do my DeSantis report?
I'm excited not only for you to do your DeSantis report. I probably have 2 fun clips to add to it, but yes, you go and I'll jump in.
Well, I'm going to start off with the default. Don't play that. The DeSantis, I have an NPR.
He's running. DeSantis is running.
Listen, this is the short announcement. This is all you really need to know. Then I'm going to switch to PBS and their slanted anti-DeSantis report.
Oh, no.
Today, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made it.
By the way, we learned something with all this reporting. His name is Ron DeSantis. It's not DeSantis, it's DeSantis.
We also learned he could play probably a professional baseball player.
I didn't know about that, but the DeSantis thing was what struck me.
Today, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made it official. He jumped into the race for the Republican presidential nomination. Shortly after filing the paperwork for his campaign, DeSantis went live on Twitter with the CEO Elon Musk.
Is that subliminal? I'm sorry. Is that subliminal DeSantis, like he's really a Democrat?
I don't think so.
The kickoff started badly.
So let's see. Looks like they just keep crashing, huh? Yeah, I think we've got just a massive number of people online, so it's servers are straining somewhat.
The live chat was filled with technical glitches. DeSantis is joining a growing crowd of Republicans hoping to defeat former President Trump for the party's nomination. Two of our correspondents are here to talk about what the announcement means for next year's election. NPR's Kelsey Snell covers politics and Greg Allen covers Florida. Good to have you both here.
Hi there.
Hello. Kelsey, the technical malfunctions eventually got resolved and DeSantis was able to speak. What did he say?
Yeah, by the time the audio was working, which took about 20 minutes, DeSantis was in the midst of a fairly traditional campaign speech where he argued his war on woke is the future. He talked about Florida's refusal to follow COVID lockdowns and claimed that the state is passing laws he called common sense.
Biden's allowed woke ideology to drive his agenda. We will never surrender to the woke mob, and we will leave woke ideology in the dustbin of history.
Guys, I'm not going to play my clips until you're fully done, but I do have to make two comments. One, this was such a canard by Twitter. And I don't have audio of it, but they were you heard what's his face? Elon and his buddy there saying, "Oh, well, you know, you melted the internet. You broke the internet, Mr. President. You broke the internet." No. It was your crap that broke. And then Jason is trying to make 1.7 million people tuned in, which is impressive. It was at 650K plus in 5 minutes under Elon's account, which would have probably hit 3 million plus despite the tech issues and not having the time for public questions. Overall, it was a great start. No, Jason, you're losing all credibility. He used to be a good writer about tech. Remember the Silicon Alley stuff he would write? Now he's just, back in the New York days. This is in the 90s. That's how long I've known him. And now can you get Elon any deeper in your throat? Stop it, Jason. It sucked. It was an embarrassment. All right.
So we go to PBS, and they are just, they're going to, here's the introduction. This is part one. It's just the introduction. Then we get to the kind of, it's all done subtly, too. And I just really enjoyed breaking down the little subtleties of the bull crap.
The race for president has a new big-name candidate. Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis officially announces his campaign in an anticipated audio interview with Elon Musk on Twitter and on this online video.
In Florida, we proved that it can be done. We chose facts over fear, education over indoctrination, law and order over rioting and disorder. We held the line when freedom hung in the balance. We showed that we can and must revitalize America. We need the courage to lead and the strength to win.
The Republican governor is a headline-generating machine, shaping national fights over COVID policies, education, corporate speech, and immigration. But he faces an uphill climb against his former ally, now turned antagonist, Donald Trump. Lisa Desjardins reports.
No, Lisa.
Okay, so Lisa, who's I guess a designated hitman.
This is new.
Is going to come on.
We haven't seen her in a while. She used to be the hit person against the hitman against Trump, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's always, and she's good at it. Because she doesn't. You don't notice it. That's why I chopped. That's why there's so many clips, because a lot of them are just a few seconds long. Because I chopped it up and wanted to stop and discuss every little thing she tries to do here. Now, I will say this, that I like DeSantis less and less.
Ditto. And shall I tell you why?
Yes, and I'll tell you why I like him less and less after you tell me. What?
I like him less and less because he is following the American media model of strife and outrage against the other side. So all he says is, I'm going to be against the woke mob. Screw those people. That is not a winning strategy. In fact, I despise that. Yeah. All right. So
and right now is the time I would have said 105%, but I'm not going to say that.
No, you're not.
In fact, it was Laura Ingraham who did a show on him recently, and she came out. She actually put together a couple of little clips I have later, little super clips about what everyone thinks about him. And she made this exact same point you're making, which is that if he would concentrate on the economy, inflation, the price of gasoline, and immigration, and get off this woke, I'm the anti-woke guy, bull crap, that would probably help him because this is nonsense.
Yeah,
but that's not what bothers me.
Oh, okay.
I just don't like his voice.
I agree. He has a flim-flam voice. He has no power.
He's got a powerless, lacking any balls voice.
Ballless
voice, and he's kind of screeches, and he's got like he doesn't have a commanding voice. He's got a whiny voice.
That's so interesting. And also the haircut could definitely be better. But that's so interesting because, Frau Ingraham, I didn't see that, of course, but he did a good job with what he did against transitioning for teens and everything in Florida. That should just be like, okay, I did that. I got other stuff to do. Instead,
that's what she would say.
That's his whole campaign. It's like, no, you can't. I don't think
it's
you can.
No good.
You can't
nobody
win
cares.
that way. You can't win by putting
good work, and now do something else.
Yeah, really, you can't win by pitting Americans against each other. It's just dumb.
So here we go with DeSantis 2.
Florida is where woke goes to die.
He heard cheers early as a Florida kid, making it to the Little League World Series. A baseball player at Yale as well. He then went on to Harvard Law School. From there, DeSantis chose the military. As an officer with the Navy's Judge Advocate General, he worked at the Guantanamo Bay prison in Cuba. One former detainee alleges DeSantis oversaw beatings and force feedings of prisoners, which he has denied. He also served in Iraq and was awarded a Bronze Star. In 2012, DeSantis rode the Tea Party wave into Congress, where he opposed Obama administration policies but rarely stood out. That changed in 2018.
They call him a conservative's conservative.
Then 39, DeSantis made his move, running for governor of the Sunshine State. Initially trailing in the primary, DeSantis launched an all-out blitz for then-President Trump's endorsement, putting his young family in the most famous ad of the year.
Then Mr. Trump said, "You're fired." I love that part.
He won Trump's endorsement, the primary, and then a razor-thin victory in November to become governor.
All I can promise is the sweat off my brow, a full heart, my best judgment, and the courage of my convictions.
Governor DeSantis made a national name for himself in the COVID pandemic, quickly ending stay-at-home orders and opposing mask and vaccine mandates. The state saw a wave of deaths.
Wait a minute. Why didn't she add in there that he narrowly won because they psyoped the other guy, the Democrat, with drugs and male prostitutes?
They left that out.
They should have put that in. That would have been good.
Well, she was already on a roll with he's overlooking torture and he's a creep. And then at the end, the little ditty at the end was the one that just was, I had to stop it there. It was what he stood up against the COVID policies. Then there was waves of death. Play that little ending again so we get a good feeling for what they're trying to do here.
That was pretty good.
Himself in the COVID pandemic, quickly ending stay-at-home orders and opposing mask and vaccine mandates. The state saw a wave of deaths.
I love the beep, beep. They should have had a beep.
Yes,
that would have. You and
if
I
you were
would have
producing
done it.
that clip, that's what you would have done. I would have done the same thing.
Of course, we know what we're doing.
That's dynamite to do that. So the wave of death. So I looked into, we have to remind ourselves that actually in 2020, Florida was at the top of the list for having the least the number of deaths per capita that whole year, which was the initial year of COVID. And it was, in fact, they were number 11 in the country. So this is bull crap. This is just the opposite.
It's great, though. This is good work.
Oh, it's dynamite. But once the vaccines were introduced, and you have that elderly population, and the rest of it, it fell to the other side in the next year, in 2021. It flipped. They were one of the worst states, not the worst. I think they were like 35 or something like. They were one of the worst.
Yeah.
But they weren't the worst. But during the initial part where it made a difference to not do this and not do that and not lock down they came out smelling like a rose. It was when the vaccines were introduced that they turned around, and there's a lot of possible reasons for that, including the elderly population and the vaccines.
And if I recall correctly, I think he was also promoting them. He wasn't against them in the beginning, DeSantis.
In fact, they have a very high, I think it's closing in on an 80% vaccination rate. I think maybe 60 fully vaccinated, and a lesser number, especially all the Deep South, the booster people are very low. I think it's 29% for Florida. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so that's bull crap. So let's go on with clip 3.
The state saw a wave of deaths, but a boom to the economy.
A boom to the economy.
Yes. Now, I stopped this one short because this is a very subtle piece of propaganda. They saw a wave of deaths, but a boon to the economy. This is the classic socialist. Oh, life means nothing to you, but a profit motive. That means everything. This is a very subtle little point.
Good catch. Let's listen again.
The state saw a wave of deaths, but a boom to the economy.
Wow, she even had a hard time reading it. But a boom to the economy. Wow, this is evil what I'm saying, but okay, I'll do it. So
that's a little trickery there that, the human life means nothing to these Republicans, but money.
Money.
So, okay. I just said that one was so outrageous. So let's go to, now I have 2 clip 4s, and you can play in either one. Let's start with the long one. This is the deaths clip.
He used state resources to fly migrants from the southern border to places like Martha's Vineyard. In 2022, he signed the Parental Rights in Education Act, banning talk of sexual orientation and gender identity before the 4th grade. Critics call the law "Don't Say Gay." When the Walt Disney Company, Florida's largest employer, openly opposed the law, DeSantis launched a new fight.
This state is governed by the interests of the people of the state of Florida. It is not based on the demands of California corporate executives.
Disney and DeSantis have wrestled ever since, with the company recently pulling out of $1 billion development in the state.
Okay.
All right, so we got this pulling out of the development.
Bull crap. It was already done.
It's bull crap. If you're going to invest $1 billion, it's because you expect to make $2 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't pull out because of to spite the governor. So that's nonsense. And most of that report had a bunch of kind of twisted logic, including the part about don't say gay.
Well, at least she was honest. Like critics called it "Don't Say Gay." At least that. But I like how.
Yeah, she did get that right. But now this next one's a little sketchier. This is clip 4 CRT.
The state saw a wave of deaths, but a boom to the economy.
If you are trying to lock people down, I am standing in your way, and I'm standing for the people of Florida.
That kind of cultural confrontation has become his brand. In 2021, the state's Department of Education enacted a ban on teaching critical race theory in schools, though it had not been part of state curriculum.
Okay, this is kind of
that's subtle.
Isn't that good?
It hadn't been part of the curriculum, by the way. That's what that's the pat answer is. It's not being taught. It's not being taught. It's not on the curriculum. Mm-hmm.
It's being taught.
Yes.
and the Florida teachers, the ones that were teaching it, were bragging about it.
Yep.
So this is bull crap.
On TikTok.
So this is kind of a weird kind of a lie.
Nothing new.
Nothing
new. No.
And so here's the last clip, 6, before we play the mini clips.
Okay.
But this is clip 6.
This year, he signed a law banning abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy and has questioned the U.S. involvement in the war in Ukraine. Through it all, his policies became a blueprint for other Republicans. But one ally has turned cold.
The problem with Ron DeSanctimonious is that he needs a personality transplant, and those are not yet available.
Time will tell if the governor who has driven conversation on the right can steer his way to the White House.
You notice that they also, on the day that, and this leads me to believe that it's all one big, we would say in the Netherlands, one big wet pot. Ain't pot nut. They're all in the same boiling pot together. They launch yet another investigation on Trump. It's the exact time DeSantis announces Trump gets another investigation. This is coordinated. It's coordinated.
It's totally. It's very coordinated. Now let's play these little mini clips about what our MSNBC and Joy Reid and all these people are saying about DeSantis, because they have to start, because they don't want him.
No.
They don't want any Republicans, but they
really don't want him.
They really don't want him.
No, they don't want him. Which one do I play? The mini clips?
This is called DeSantis mini clips.
There are a lot of younger people in that party that are much scarier. DeSantis, for one. This guy is a fascist.
This is the coming straight out of the authoritarian playbook. This is what's so disturbing about DeSantis.
DeSantis has almost accelerated the racism as the point.
In his quest to run the most right-wing fascist primary campaign ever, DeSantis is throwing all the right wing pudding at the wall with.
Look, he's hard to get along with one-on-one. He's pretty awkward in person.
Wait a minute, you're saying he's hard to get on with one-on-one and he's not a great campaigner?
The guy who, by the way, is not expanding his own base of support and is also not doing anything to help with the awkwardness because he's awkward too.
That's pretty weak.
Yeah, they're calling him an awkward fascist.
Why don't they just call him gay? They got nothing. They don't have. This is the problem. They don't.
They can't.
Can't. No, that would be wrong. They
can't call him gay.
Well, Whoopi Goldberg kind of came close. Can I play this for a second? Whoopi on the View.
So I'm done with these clips, so you can take it over. But I've been watching some of the View stuff is just so hard to watch.
It's not hard to listen to, and it's short.
This cat down in Florida, I mean, black people know there's a problem in Florida. Yep. That's what I just wanted to say to the
Mickey
NAACP.
Mouse knows there's a problem in Florida.
Everybody knows.
Problem.
We know. But the problem for me is if you come from Florida and you got family down there, saying to people, try to avoid it, doesn't work.
Yeah.
We've got to do something different. I love that NAACP because I know that they're trying to do the right thing. But this, there's a lot of black people in Florida who live there, who grew up there, who have been there.
Yeah.
So we have to find a better way to say we got issues.
I am unaware of issues with black people in Florida.
And you know the kicker? The head of the NAACP who wrote that edict lives in Florida.
Here's Anna Navarro on The View.
The NAACP actually issued a travel advisory against going to Florida. The formal travel notice states Florida is openly hostile toward African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ individuals. Before traveling to Florida, please understand that the state of Florida devalues and marginalizes the contributions of and the challenges faced by African Americans.
So I love where the NAACP has now also taken over the watch of colored people, because that's what it stands for, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, which is a racist term by itself, I thought. Now, LGBTQ. Miami is gay heaven. What are you talking about?
And then take them out to the Keys.
But the point, let's make sure we make the point. Gay heaven, not trans heaven.
Yes, gay heaven.
Very subtle. Gay heaven, exactly.
Yeah, and Don Lemon lives in Florida.
And what? Oh well. I mean, what
that
kind
proves it?
What kind of? Well, actually, here's a report from ABC.
Tonight, after accusing Governor Ron DeSantis of a, quote, all-out attack on black Americans, the NAACP issuing a travel advisory for Florida, joining other civil rights groups that have warned against traveling to the top tourist destination, the NAACP, now accusing the state of Florida of being openly hostile toward African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ plus individuals.
The NAACP doesn't get to warn LGBTQ peoples. This whole thing, this is laughable. The NAACP just put themselves into the clown world. That is so dumb. Everybody knows this is dumb. Like there's no black people in Florida. Oh, black people don't go to Disney. It's probably good. Don't indoctrinate your children.
probably is good.
All right, a couple of fun things here. So besides that, DeSantis is only against woke, the woke mob, wokeness goes. Dude, that's a problem. And you did great things in Florida. We did that in Texas too, but no one's walking around like I'm going to be president because I'm going to go against the rest of America. Even Trump is not that stupid. He just doesn't do that. It's dumb. But why is this? Because that's all he's got. That's why he's focused on it. And, he also panders to the Bitcoiners a little bit with there'll be no central bank digital currency. That's not even for you to say, my brother. That's the central bank who gets to do that. You don't have a say over that. But also, he is funded by some of the biggest hedge fund people on Wall Street. Big Wall Street money. And I also think some of the big money behind, well, I'll just say it, behind Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's outfit. And one of our producers did a dynamite job figuring this out. So he had this video, which was kind of a weak version of Trump's behind the scenes, behind the flag, walking on the stage. You saw it, with the boom boom, the music behind him.
Yeah, and before I continue, I want to remind people that Ben Shapiro was one of the first and earliest anti-Trumpers.
So now listen, 35 seconds only. Listen to the music.
In Florida, we proved that it can be done. We chose facts over fear, education over indoctrination, law and order over rioting and disorder. We held the line when freedom hung in the balance. We showed that we can and must revitalize America. We need the courage to lead and the strength to win. I'm Ron DeSantis, and I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
So, you know me. And clearly, at least one of our producers, this is interesting. What music are you using? This turns out to be a track by Davis Withane, and it's called The Queen of the Violin. And this is it. This is the track. You can get it on Spotify. There's a YouTube video. You can get it on Amazon. Well, wouldn't you believe it? It's obscure. It's obscure. It's good, but it's obscure. It's not a traditional classical piece. Well, wouldn't you believe that it was used in this as well?
The highest ethical spirit to which we're beholden is presented precisely as that spirit that allies itself with the cause of freedom against tyranny. And
yes, exactly. I want villains to get punished.
But do you want the villains to learn before they have to pay the ultimate price?
That's such a Christian question.
That is Jordan B. Peterson, now on the Daily Wire. These fuckers produced it, John. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. They produced it. They produced it. This is a Daily Wire. Even the video. Now you look at the video.
That's an outstanding catch.
I mean, our producer.
Because why else would you even find that music?
Thank you.
Unless you already had it in your library and you thought it was cool.
Yep. It is cool.
And you had the permission to use it. If there was a licensing deal, it was already done.
They already had it done. It was already taken care of. Easy to add to it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So here is, I think it's a France 24 retelling of the Ron DeSantis Twitter launch, which I think also you and I, if we were consulting, we would have said, no, why, bro? Wouldn't we have said that? It's like, don't launch with Elon Musk on Twitter. What was his point?
What was the point?
Is it like, well, Trump did it on Twitter, so I can do it?
He did?
Well, Trump, no, he did not announce on Twitter, but he used Twitter to his advantage.
Yeah, well, he could do that, but...
No, the way Trump announces, he came down...
He should have done a big press conference and done it someplace in D.C. or Miami or someplace like that with a big audience.
I think he doesn't have it in him. I don't think he can command a big audience. I don't think he doesn't have the presence. He doesn't have the voice.
He gets coached.
No.
You know who if you want to win, this came to mind. I was just looking over these clips before the show. Whatever happened to Kellyanne Conway? She is actually something of a genius when it comes to elections.
Well, they hate her.
They do. They must, because they won't know. She should have been hired.
They probably,
they were so old. Make sure you do what the consultants tell you. Well, if it was consultants, was Kellyanne Conway, I'd probably do that. But the rest of these people are idiots.
I have a feeling that they even went to the boring guy from Daily Wire, and they consulted him on it. This whole thing reeks of Daily Wire limp wrist stuff. You know what I mean?
I like that. Daily Wire limp wrist stuff.
I'm not saying that it has nothing to do with their sexuality, but it's weak.
Well, no, but they're limp wrists. You're right.
Yeah.
They're light in the loafers even.
Let's not take it too far. Here is France 24 reporting on this botch of a launch.
It was a chaotic start to a much anticipated presidential campaign launch. It took about 25 minutes for Ron DeSantis to finally be able to make his big announcement after Twitter servers got so overwhelmed that it caused major technical issues. But once DeSantis was finally able to speak, he focused most of his remarks on the culture wars that have come to define most of his time as governor of Florida, promising his supporters that he would, quote, never surrender to the woke mob. He also took some swipes at the former president, Donald Trump, though he did not directly name him. For example, saying that we must end the culture of losing that has infected the Republican Party in recent years. And while the goal of DeSantis and his team was, of course, to launch this campaign in a brand new way that would bring a lot of publicity, the few 100,000 people who actually tuned in to listen to the governor of Florida are really no match to the audiences that can be generated by traditional cable news networks. And that is why Ron DeSantis followed up his Twitter launch with an appearance on the conservative news network Fox News before he is set to hold a traditional campaign rally, which is expected sometime this weekend in Florida.
And of course, he went on the Democrat-run Fox because they're all in on it. Ain't but not. They're all in on it. It's all. This is actually a giant psyop. And a lot of people are going to fall for it. They will, but I think I'm looking forward to seeing what he does this weekend in front of a crowd. I don't think he can do it. I don't think he can get the people all riled up. Other than we'll never let the woke mob take over. Okay, you're going to have a stadium full of people voting for you. Then you need to do more to be the president of the United States. And I'm not saying that Trump is the guy, but man, he does have humor. And I loved this. He posted this on Truth Social. It was a totally AI generated Twitter Spaces. So you saw the little icons, Elon. Then he had in there George Soros, had the FBI, the devil, Dick Cheney, who's only coughing his lungs up during the whole thing, and did an AI generated version of this botched launch, which I have to play the audio. It was really good.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Ron DeSantis Twitter space.
Hello? Is my microphone working correctly?
George, can you just wait while we...
Hello?
That's Soros.
Can you hear me?
We can all hear you, George. Can you just hold on for a second?
Hilfa, I don't think they can hear me.
I can hear you fine, George. Just speak to the
I don't think George knows how to use Twitter.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Can I please make my big announcement now? Everyone just...
Hello?
Shut up, George. Can somebody just mute George?
It's Cheney.
Dick, could you try not to cough on the...
Okay, so how are we going to take out Trump, you guys?
Guys from the FBI, this is not a private call. This is a public Twitter space. Everyone can listen in.
This is the best part.
God damn it.
They go away.
Anyway, guys, we invited everyone to this Twitter space so Governor Ron DeSantis could...
Everyone just shut the hell up so I can make my announcement, okay?
You go, girl.
Wait, the devil is gay?
So what? Everyone in this call is gay. I happen to know every single one of you has a secret.
Now Hitler's going crazy.
Führer, ich kann nicht zulassen, dass die Soldaten, die für Sie
Guys, can we please just calm down?
Cheney.
So anyway, guys, I just wanted to announce that I'm...
Okay, I can hear the governor very well.
Shut up. Would you please shut up already? I'm running for fucking president, okay?
Yeah, we kind of already knew about it.
We already know, Governor.
Congratulations, Governor.
Well, that concludes our Twitter space for today. Thank you to all of our...
Hold your horses, Elon. The real president is going to say a few words. The devil, I'm going to kick your ass very soon. Hitler, you're already dead. Dick Cheney, sounds like you'll be joining Hitler very soon. Klaus Schwab and George Soros, I'm putting both your asses in jail. And Ron DeSanctimonious can kiss my big, beautiful 2024 presidential ass. Trump 2024, baby. Let's go.
Now, I just have to commend whoever did that. That's American right there. That's the kind of humor I love. That's what we're good at.
It's good stuff.
That's what we do.
I wish they had a better Trump voice, but that was pretty good. Yeah, of all the voices, you'd think they'd get a good
it's hard.
version of.
That's why I say until you can fool me with a Trump AI, it's no good. But I would like to thank you for your courage. Say in the morning to you, the man who put the C in the culture wars. Please say hello to my friend on the other end. Ladies and gentlemen, please, hello, Mr. John C. DeVore.
Well, good morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also, good morning to the ships at sea, the boots on the ground, the feet in the air, the subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
And a note for those of you checking us out in the troll room, or if you're thinking of skipping over this segment, all the good stuff is coming in the actual donation segment. Let's count the trolls in the troll room. How many do we have hanging out with us right now as we are live? 1,961. Probably was about 2,000 when I started this. So we're very close. Very close. 1961. That's good for a Thursday, is it not?
Unless when Kennedy got in office.
Well, that's perfect then. The trolls are listening at trollroom.io, and you can join them there. If you're in, just go to that website, trollroom.io, and you'll see right away. You can listen to the stream live Thursdays and Sundays. It's 24 hours. It's noagendastream.com. It's the best podcast network in the universe. All talk, no agenda. Except for when Darren O'Neill does the rock and roll pre-show, and there's other music stuff, but there's no commercials. No. And you can also now, in addition to Podverse, Curocaster, Podcast Guru, Podcast Addict, now the ever-loved Fountain app is allowing you to listen to this show live. We'll give you the bat signal. It'll alert you that we're going live. You get the troll room. You get the live stream, everything. You can boost to your heart's content. Everything right there in the app, the same app that you use to listen to all your podcasts. And it'll even help you import from your legacy app. podcastapps.com. Or you can follow us at noagendasocial.com. It is the most banned Freeze Peach Mastodon server in existence. I don't know if we should be proud of it or not, but if you come to us, you'll only be talking to us. No one else will hear you. So say what you want.
It won't get very far.
Our signal does not reach very far, except for people who are, are not all uptight about alternative ideas and thoughts. And at noagendasocial.com, you can follow me, Adam at noagendasocial.com, John C. Dvorak at noagendasocial.com. And we are very thankful for our value for value participants. That's people who actually help us out by providing value back to the show for the value we provide. You can do that in a number of ways: time, talent, treasure. We really enjoy the treasure, of course, but man, people are so creative. Everyone's so creative. Such as Nico Syme, whose artwork we chose from No Agenda Art Generator. This was the Wagner graffiti tag on the wall. It was a beautiful piece. Not my first choice, I'll be honest, but I just could not go against it. I mean, it was a winner. It was a winner.
What was your first choice?
I liked the Just Send Cash in the Ukraine shopping, like the goodie bag with the Ukraine. I like that one a lot. You thought it was shallow. You thought it was shallow. Yes. That's me. Shallow. What can I say? There were some other, here was the, Sirnet Ned had the Mr. Hot Dog. That would be the Wagner guy, the hot dog guy.
Yeah. A little obscure as a gag, but it was funny. Yeah. It was a good job by the hot dog guy.
You liked the other Nico Syme, the F-16 with the smokestack, because it was running on coal. I
did like that. You said it was coal-powered F-16. You said it was, I don't get it.
No, I got it. I just didn't think it was that great.
I liked it.
We both kind of liked the war bag by Toast, but it was really too simplistic with all the F-16s in the war bag. What else do we have?
Well, there was the Kilroy was here gags I liked and you hated.
Well, I didn't hate anything.
Yeah.
What did I hate?
Say that to the hand. Oakland by Dame Kenny Ben, showing the Oakland sign floating with the octopus holding it up.
I thought it was what was the octopus? I didn't understand the octopus.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Well, explain it to me. Oh, because of Oakland, octopus, Oakland. I don't get it. I don't get it. You
There's
can't
nothing
even
to get.
No, it's okay. Well, there you go. You know what happens is you retweet the show and you're done. You're gone. You're not on No Agenda Social, not on Twitter, and I have to field all the what's that art about? What's going on with that? I know. I'm not going to do all that work. Let's see what else. Nico Syme was swinging for the fences. Really, he had a lot of stuff that he put up there. And Comic Strip Blogger, of course, did an AI-generated Dvorak, the sumo master. It was cute.
Yeah.
But, no.
It looks more like Dick Cheney.
You know, we're good. Yeah, also, it was insulting to my partner, so I would never, ever vote for something that insults my partner based upon his girth.
No girth?
There's girth in that picture.
Well, in that picture, for sure.
We're going to lose this AI trap. I mean, we're going to lose it. We're eventually just going to.
What do you mean we're going to lose it?
People are going to slip by. It's going to slip by with AI stuff. But
of course it is.
If it's Photoshop, we might as well call Photoshop AI. Oh, you know what? Microsoft Word. It's AI, baby. It does word correction.
You might as well just say everything's AI.
Yeah.
It's like blockchain. It's exactly the same.
It's blockchain. It's blockchain, baby. That's what it is. Oh, goodness. Anyway, congratulations to Nico Syme. Thank you to all the artists who put in a lot of work on the fly in real time. And you can view all this at noagendaartgenerator.com. We even have a ranker now on the front page. You can find out who's had the most pieces chosen. Yeah, it's fun.
Add a little competitiveness to it. A little competitive
I like
spirit.
No,
we don't compete.
I like it.
Yeah, you do.
I think it's good. Yeah, I think it's cool. And of course, on No AgendaSocial.com is where the artists all pretend to like each other. Oh, great work. Good. Well done.
They pretend to like each other. This is true.
Congrats, bro. Good job.
It's not what I predicted, but it's really good piece. You're the best.
Yes, not what I predicted.
Yes, like Hollywood.
Totally. And we're just like Hollywood, too. We're choosing it based upon the same criteria anyone in a business or Hollywood would choose. Only we're honest about it. That's the difference. And we're better. We're transparent. We're transparent. Yes, indeed. Very good. All right, now we are very happy to thank our executive and associate executive producers who came in. I'd say made up for our last showing. I'm very pleased with this result. Thank you so much.
Well, we didn't get anything last show.
It's pretty much, anything would have been. And I said it so. So if you want to be an executive producer, you're going straight to the top because look at Bobby Brindlehorse, who's in Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Comes in with 444.44, which is interesting. It's not your
Where's
typical.
Our Instanites?
Well, it's not. Well, it's not your. Well, this does get Bobby to something big because Bobby says, "Thank you for your courage. I've stood before you as Bobby Brindlehorse amongst all slaves of Gitmo Nation. Today, I stand proudly with you as Sir Ladyboy Brindlehorse." Sir Ladyboy Brindlehorse, nice. If you will have me, prime rib and cheap beer at the round table, we'll have you. Oh, I'm as queer as a $3 bill sometimes, and I've identified as gay, queer, bi, straight, even trans. Those are made-up words. They have no meaning. I'm just a spirit and a human being. Remember the mink. No jingles, no karma. Thank you for your courage, Sir Ladyboy Brindlehorse, Mount Laurel, New Jersey, proving once again everybody's welcome in No Agenda Nation. Thank you very much, future Sir Ladyboy Brindlehorse. That's a good one.
Onward with Kevin Garguilo in Sugar Hill, Georgia. Gentlemen, Gargiulo. Okay. Gargiulo here, I do believe, successfully sent 334 via PayPal for the show on Thursday. I sent 334 due to an earlier donation only being 333.
Oh.
and did not want Adam to have to shell out pennies.
Thank you.
Going to the North Georgia meetup today, 25th, and did not want to be that guy who had not donated recently. Thanks for all you do to shrink the amygdalas for all us Gitmo Nation. Since I retired on 9/22/22 after 22 years, I thought becoming a knight was in order. Please knight me Sir Kevin G. of the Lake Lanier boaters. Please give karma to all who need it. ITM, love is lit, and all that shit.
You've got karma.
Andrew Lopez, Edmond, Oklahoma, 334.
Too long a note.
Yeah, we're not going to read it all. I know what's in here, but it's a first-time donation, so please de-douche.
You've been de-douched.
I knew I needed to tune into the show when I heard Adam ripping into the Federal Reserve on one of his Rogan appearances. Thank you for all the useful information and analysis that you provide week after week. It keeps me company as I do my work for my online store, RenegadeSupplies.com. John, what is it?
RenegadeSupplies.com. Check it out.
So you just summarized the whole next paragraph because he said, hey, I heard that this might be a good way to advertise my stuff. Well, we don't take advertisements, and so we're not going to read your ad copy, but we will offer the 10% discount for No Agenda listeners. If you're in central Oklahoma, they do all kinds of stuff at, what is it called again? Renegade Supplies. Especially, we do water softening and filtration. Contact us for a 10% discount.
Oh.
You got it.
Do you have hard water in Oklahoma? Is that right?
I guess. We've got it. We have a water softener here, but we have
You have hard water there. That's interesting.
Well, we have a well. So we have very.
You could get it. Yeah.
And then he says he wants one jingle. Alex Jones. Oh yeah, Alex Jones, Big Swinging Johnson. We got it. We got that for you. Andrew Lopez, owner of Renegade Supplies.
Dude, America kicked Hillary's ass and the Democrats, not the damn Russians. Can you give me some credit here? We're the Big Swinging Johnson, bro, not the Russians. Get that through your head.
All right.
Meanwhile, Baroness Shotziland, loving family, Cary, North Carolina, 333.33. So we had no donations for the special that I put in the newsletter for the next show, which is a Memorial Day special, and you get a special credit.
Nope. But isn't that
not one?
But isn't that isn't that more appropriate for Sunday's show?
Yeah, it is. But once in a while, you do it in advance to see what happens.
No, people are saving up. They're saving up.
Because that donation is 333.34. It's coded.
Oh wait, there was one in there. One? Did we have one? Yeah.
No.
Oh no, you're right. No. What is wrong with people?
I don't know. They hate us. Prayers, please, for our Baron of Shotziland for an upcoming medical procedure, followed by another trip around the sun. The best is on the birthday list. Best podcast in the universe. The best podcast in the universe continues to provide humor and truth twice a week, and we thank you. Sincerely, his loving family. That's sweet.
That's very sweet. Okay, on the prayer list. Jake is in Chicago, Illinois, 333.33. Are you even allowed to donate if you're in Chicago? It's crazy.
I'm surprised they don't stop it at the border.
That's right. John and Adam, please accept this 3-year lump sum treasure payment. Nice. As a small token of gratitude for creating and maintaining the best podcast in the world. Universe, I've even heard. It's in the Durham report. Consider this donation a vote to keep doing what you are doing column. Duly noted.
All right, now we have, and I have a note here from our friend, who is Mr. Planner Perfect from Nebraska. I just sent in 333.33. If you give credit, please use Mr. Planner Perfect from Nebraska. www.designedbyplannerperfect.com. That's it.
All right. That's all he wants? Good. Perfect. Noah Wattenmacher is in Three Rivers, California, with a 333.33 and explicitly says no jingles, no karma. You got it. No problem. So I'll do Sir Kevin McLaughlin, who comes in. Usually he's at the 8008 level. He comes in with 333.23. for Show 1558 Memorial Day special donation. There you go, John.
And by the way, he is also in the 8008 list.
Of course he is. The guy is unstoppable.
He's unstoppable.
For Show 1558 Memorial Day special donation, Sir Kevin McLaughlin, Archduke of Luna, lover.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It wasn't 34. It was 23. This is one of those donations. We have two of them.
Now, this is why people hate you. Now you have your answer. Archduke of Luna, lover of America and boobs. No jingles. 2 karmas. Jobs karma for the No Agenda Nation. F cancer karma for those in need. And especially the ladies with their beautiful snuggle puppies. Laus Deo. Praise to be God.
You've got karma.
Puppies.
You've got
No.
karma.
Sorry, I forgot the jobs.
Jobs.
We'll do it all.
Jobs and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
Gave him 3.
Karma.
And I don't mind over-serving Sir Kevin McLaughlin.
Well, no, he
at all.
He can tell us what to do, actually.
No.
Martin Moskovitz at 333.23. Both Adam and John are key components in maintaining my sanity. Without No Agenda, I'd feel like I was taking crazy pills. Heartfelt thanks to those that give the ultimate sacrifice for us. May we be worthy and continue the fight.
Yeah, let's talk about Memorial Day.
He's the Memorial Day donor, and that's what he's referring to.
So what is Memorial Day for? What are we memorializing?
The people who died in various wars, useless or otherwise.
No, it's mattress sales. Sadly.
What am I thinking?
Yes. William Levenberg in Los Angeles, California, 333. 100%. Best podcast. You trying to make me say that, bruh? 100%. Best podcast in the universe, especially at 2 times speed. Oh, you really want me to slap you around, don't you? You know, I'm going on Megyn Kelly on the 31st. And, you know, it's interesting to watch her. Man, I should have clipped this. With Dan Bongino. Ever since Tucker's been kicked off the air, she's like, you know, you don't need cable. You can do it on your own. And now Bongino's, who also didn't, you know, is now off cable.
He also got booted.
Well, whatever. He says is different. But now they're talking together. You don't need, just need a microphone. Just need a mic and a camera. And you don't need all that overhead. And none of it's needed. And then Megyn Kelly comes in and says, hey, you can listen at 2 times speed. You get a lot more information than on cable. What?
What?
I'm going to have to call her out on that. Megan, do not encourage people to listen at 2 times speed. It's not smart. It's bad for your health.
Yes, you should definitely call her out on that. If you can remember to do so, we'd all appreciate it.
I wrote it down. I wrote it down in my little Megan prep file. I long for wrapped and addled podcaster brain. Well, you're going to get it. Please give me tax karma. Please call out Entropian.
Douchebag.
And Eddie.
Douchebag.
From the Palisades as douchebag. Soon to be Sir Turkey. You got it. Here's your tax karma, bro. No problem for you. Thank you.
You've got karma.
Joseph Finley's up next from Louisville, Ohio. 333. To my Aunt Darlene. Sorry.
Oh, wow, I wonder what he did.
Well, there's no backstory, but there must be something going on there. But to Aunt Darlene, sorry.
We'll take it. 333.33. Oh, this is out of order. Interesting. This is Sir Dr. Jeff, who says, in the morning, Adam and John, on May 13th, I sent 333.33.
No, I sent it, yeah.
Okay. Via the PayPal link on the website, I suspect that this was the old link that you all mentioned in a recent episode. Is that true? Did that show up in the old link? It must have.
Could be.
May 14th was my birthday, and I wanted to return value to y'all on my birthday. John, could you please check the other account? He will. It was a link off the Dvorak.org website. It's okay. That's all being changed. Are you talking to our guy?
Oh, yeah. We've had a long chat.
Oh, I'm so happy.
We're working our asses off.
Especially you. I'd like a little karma for producers and F cancer in memory of my dad who died from a glioblastoma on May 15th, 8 years ago. God bless and thank you for your continued important work of deconstructing the news and entertaining us with just how ridiculous the world is right now. Not just right now, my friend. It's been that way for a long time.
You've got karma.
You gave your dad a little goat.
Mark Oliveri in Cedar Park, Texas. ITM 304.20. ITM John and Adam, the amount represents the date of Adam's first appearance on JRE.
Oh, Rogan donation.
Brother. I have listened to every No Agenda since. I appreciate the news deconstruction and the OTG segments, which we haven't had many of recently.
No, because the last time I did it about the light phone, you got all up in my grill and you were really mean.
I was mean.
Yeah, you were meanie.
No jingles this time. Hey, karma, please. All the best, Mark.
You've got karma.
Yeah, by the way, my Beck thing airs today on The Blaze and Saturday everywhere you get your podcasts. And the YouTubes. Brandon, dude named Jeff. Oh, Baron, dude named Jeff. Westlake, Ohio, 303.30. Massive shot of health karma for Dad. He's had complications from surgery. He was in room 3033. Maybe that's good. You know what? We're going to give a little health goat for him.
You've got karma.
Sir Dixbert in Hudson, Florida, 233.33. AC and JCD, incoming treasure value. Please provide general karma for everyone and a bag of F cancer karma for two wonderful people in my ex-wife's family in Minnesota nuts. And that's what he writes out, Minnesota nuts.
Yep.
I would never say anything like that.
No, never.
Much appreciated, Sir Dixbert in Tampa, Florida.
You've got karma.
Brian Carter is our next associate executive producer from Waukesha, Wisconsin, 225.60. Must be a reason. In the morning, gentlemen, please find my donation for today, 225.60, and credit this, switcheroo, for my son-in-law, Corey. Okay, so we don't know if it won't be Corey Carter, so we'll just put it as Corey then. All right. No problem.
Yeah, Corey.
This donation pushes him over the finish line, and he becomes a knight. Corey hit me in the mouth, good son-in-law, in 2019 on our trip to the Indianapolis 500. This sounds like a cool dude. So it's fitting that I can return the favor in honor of my birthday, May 22nd, and our next trip to Indy next week. Please knight him Sir Corey of the Fourth Watch, and he is requesting, if possible, cannabis and cream soda at the round table. Hey, breakfast of champions. No jingles, no karma, just my gratitude. He is in our family, and thank you for your courage. Respectfully, Brian Carter, the radio doctor, lakeshore64.com. Let me just check and make sure he's on the birthday list. I don't see an additional thing here. Is it Corey on there? No, see, I knew it.
No Corey, no birthday. I got to put it on the exceptions thing here.
Corey, what is his birthday? No,
May 22nd.
I'm sorry, it's not Corey. It's Brian Carter. Brian Carter's birthday,
May 22nd.
Nope. Okay, Brian Carter. All right, Carter.
If there's no jingles, I'll continue the thing as you write this down, which is Danielle Williams in Weed, California. Row of Ducks 222.22. Thank you. What you do is greatly appreciated. Requesting MILLENLIA millennial end of show mix, if possible, at the end of show.
I don't remember a millennial end of show mix. I do remember this. That I remember. I don't think there's a millennial end of show.
I've never heard of one.
Let me see. End of show.
But what does she spell it with?
Wait. I think he's right. It's Abel Kirby.
She. Danielle's she.
Let's see. She's right. It's Abel Kirby, so.
Way on the other side of the brunch bar.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
It's an Abel Kirby, so I'm putting that in. Abel Kirby is always quality. So I'll put him right in there. I will slip him in for you.
Let me read a make good while we're here.
Okay.
At this level, because somebody wrote in and it was Kay, this is the person Kay, Hetty is her name. And she wrote in, I'm not sure if I got to submit a longer note with my 222.22 donation, what I can write in the PayPal text box. If so, and she's got this note. First-time donor, and she sent a note to adam@dvorak.org. It should be adam@curry.com. And there's just a lot of problems. I never found no note from her ever.
No.
Maybe she donated to a different show. But
possible.
She's wishing a happy birthday, and this one has to be written in by hand because I know no one's got this. Jay didn't catch it because she never saw this note. Wishing a happy birthday this week to my sister-in-law, Kate, who introduced me to No Agenda 2 years ago, and a happy birthday to my brother, Brian. Brother, we got two of them. Brian and Kate from Hetty. During the pandemic, I found great value in listening to No Agenda when all my friends had gone crazy for the vaccines. All of a sudden, my primary news sources sounded like advertisements for Big Pharma. Amy Goodman of Democracy Now! Wasn't questioning the agenda of Big Pharma, and Bernie Sanders and AOC were encouraging us to get the shot. WTF, ? The only voice of truth I could find was in the newsletter of Joseph Mercola. He was they took care of him. He was once the most espousing the benefits of nutrition. Listening to you guys and knowing there's a troll room full of live listeners and tons of other folks that gave me the encouragement, and others saw through the bull crap of Big Pharma. I think there was a big group of leftist wellness hippies who believed that food is medicine and believed in boosting immunity and use herbs. Anyway, she goes on condemning Big Pharma. Anyway, I find great value in your news analysis and comfort that there are others out there. Love is lit. Hetty from Truckee.
You got it. And I've entered it all onto the birthday list. Emerson Trimble is in Standish, Maine, 213. Initial payment for my years of douchebaggery as called out by Kenneth Corson on the last show. No jingles, no karma, but it sounds like de-douching is in order.
You've been de-douched.
And now we go to Embers. Sorry. You did.
Zadok Brown is up next.
Zadok Brown III in Pukalani, Hawaii. $210. No, I don't see a jingle. I don't see nothing, so he gets a double up karma.
You've got karma.
Leor Schlikorn is in Livingston, New Jersey, of course, where you'd expect a name like Leor Schlikorn. $200. In the morning, gents, first-time donor here, but long-time listener needing immediate de-douching.
You've been de-douched.
Love the show, and it's the only podcast I can listen to. As a beekeeper, I, for one, will not eat bugs. Finally, we've got a beekeeper, and tell us about the bees. Are the bees really disappearing? Let us know, beekeeper. Look forward to many more shows and to hopefully knighthood. We hope that too, Leor. Let us know how the bees are doing. Everyone's all getting all upset about the bees. Oh, the bees are dying.
Yeah, it's been going on for decades.
Exactly.
Scott the Welder, meanwhile, is in New York City, but in Brooklyn. $200. Scott the Welder here, first-time donor and douchebag. Johnson, the coffee roaster, punched me in the mouth 3 years ago, and I hereby call him out as a douchebag. Douchebag. Now, please de-douche me.
You've been de-douched.
And I would appreciate some jobs karma. Thanks for all you guys do. You ain't no welders. Put the carbon dioxide down.
Hey. We can use electrodes.
Warmest regards, yeah. Arc welding is great, especially when you leave the stick into the well so it sticks out. That's the best.
Jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs.
We didn't say we were
actual
welders, but we have welded before. Give us a break, man. We know that's why we appreciate you so much, because we know what it takes. Remember that electrodes get stuck? Daniel Nugent, Grand Rapids, Michigan, our final associate executive producer. He says, huzzah from your supporters at the Patriot Classic. Debating ideas, celebrating freedom, and dismantling the tyrants between each and every golf shop this Saturday in Michigan. Keep fighting the good fight, AC and JCD. And thank you very much. We appreciate that so much. These are executive and associate executive producers for episode 1558, part of our 2-episode Memorial Day special. You get these titles. They are titles that are good forever, so you can use them anywhere. Your LinkedIn, any resume, put them on IMDb. We've got over close to 800 real professionals who have their producing credits up there. You're one of them now. Unlike the douchebags in Hollywood, we will vouch for you if anyone questions this. If you'd like to become an associate or executive producer of No Agenda of the No Agenda Show, go here.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Thank you again for becoming executive and associate executive producers for this episode.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Order. Shut up, slave. Shut up, slave.
I laughed so hard about 2 bits of mainstream media ministry of truthiness. And I want to play them both, and then there's plenty more we can do, but these are just too good. And the first one is Mariana Spring from the BBC, who was on the breakfast show, explaining BBC Verify. Have you heard of this? The BBC Verify?
No, I'm sure.
BBC Verify is a team that verifies and goes against the narrative, all the misinformation, disinformation. The BBC is now your ministry of truthiness. And it was just so funny. We'll have to stop the clip a couple of times.
We are a team of investigative journalists here at the BBC. We are also a new brand, and we are a physical location above the newsroom in London. And the point of the team, as you said, is to verify video, to fact check, to counter disinformation, and to analyse really complex stories so we can get to the truth of what's going on. Why does this matter? Well, mistruths can cause really serious harm to society and to the people in them.
It's a very serious harm. And notice how she's above the newsroom. This is great. She's above the newsroom, and she's got her big
symbolic.
Oh yeah, she's got her big touch screens. And why do we do this? Because misinformation can cause serious harm.
Does this matter? Well, mistruths can cause really serious harm to society and to the people in them. And so we want to show you our workings and really help you understand how we get to the bottom of what's happening. And I'm going to give you a bit of a flavour of the kind of work that the team are doing.
This is work. This is work. Mind you, this is the government outfit, the BBC.
Yeah.
The government runs it. Don't worry. The government is here to give you the truth and to verify.
So we're able to look at maps, to geolocate.
Maps! John, they've got maps. They can geolocate
specific situations, stuff that's going on. This is just a map of
stuff that's going on.
Central London, where we are now, and this is New Broadcasting House, where I'm speaking to you from.
They zoomed in on where they are. They've got maps. They can geolocate themselves.
And it's not so important, perhaps, for the centre of London, but it is when we're analysing war zones or what's happening in hard-to-reach places. And there's a story on the BBC website today. It's looking at Russian fortifications on the front lines in Ukraine, and you can read more about it there.
I'm so sick of these maps of where everybody is in Russia. These maps are bull crap. If you look at these maps, and people, hey man, Wagner Group is real. Look, here's where everything is. I'll say, where's this map from? It's like 2 Russian dudes. 2 Russian, teenagers do this map. So what? It's garnered from social media and from on-the-ground reports.
And there are other ways that we also are able to interrogate what's going on, including on social media.
Interrogate what's going on?
Yes.
What kind of English is that?
Well, now this is the cool thing. Listen how she interrogates what's going on.
Interrogate what's going on, including on social media. I have some undercover accounts that I've set up for the BBC's Americast podcast, and we use these kinds of undercover accounts.
So she basically she's showing 5.
Did she just out herself?
Yes, she shows 5 fake profiles, and 2 of them are black people. And in the comments,
she's social media blackfacing.
Yes.
She should be banned. She should be excoriated.
Well, instead of that, some of the comments were, maybe you should think of hiring actual black people there at the BBC. But okay, you can have your social media blackface.
For the BBC's Americast podcast, and we use these kinds of undercover accounts, and these are the characters that the accounts.
She only uses that for America, though. It's not for Britain, because we're the racists, you see.
Undercover accounts that I've set up for the BBC's Americast podcast, and we use these kinds of undercover accounts, and these are the characters that the accounts belong to.
What do you think? Now, I know the payoff, but what do you think this is really all about? What do you think it's really leading towards?
Get the jab?
No, that's yesterday. No, it's something similar.
We should give more support to Ukraine.
Well, we already have that with the maps. No, it's really there's a crescendo that culminates into a peak here.
To be able to really understand polarization online and how what's happening on our social media feeds and what we're being recommended and pushed to us can affect all of us. And they don't offer us a totally exhaustive insight into what's going on, but they can help us understand just how social media works.
How does social media work? BBC, explain.
Then there's also investigating other mistruths and the real world harm they can cause.
Other treaties, and other real world harm they can cause.
At the moment, I'm investigating the UK's conspiracy theory movement. I'm trying to understand more about how it's evolved and intensified since the pandemic here in the UK. I'm looking at the alternative media that finds itself at the heart of this movement.
At the heart of the movement is alternative media. Do you think she means podcasts as well? Could we be at the heart?
I hope so.
At the heart of the movement?
Here in the UK, I'm looking at...
It's a movement!
The alternative media that finds itself at the heart of this movement, and a conspiracy theory newspaper that's a part of that as well. I'm looking at the way that alternative media is funded.
Is it called the Conspiracy Times? I'd like to know what this conspiracy theory newspaper is. What possibly could it be?
Of this movement, and a conspiracy theory newspaper that's a part of that as well. I'm looking at the way that...
Is it The Guardian? I mean, tell us which one, lady.
Alternative media is funded. I'm looking at its impact on local communities. I'm looking at its connections with far-right figures, and also its foreign links. That's for a podcast series that will be coming out in June. It's called Mariana in Conspiracy Land, and it will be available on BBC Sounds, Radio 4. Asking that question, could January the 6th or a German coup attempt like we saw there ever happen here?
Could a January 6th or military coup attempt such as we saw in Germany ever happen here? Mariana in Conspiracy Land, everybody. Could it get any weirder, BBC? Mariana in Conspiracy Land. Oh, brother.
Is that the name of the newspaper?
No, that's the name of her podcast with the culmination of BBC Verify. All right.
Oh, did you mention that podcast? Let's play this. This is an NPR house ad, and there's a podcaster involved. And you don't hear these house ads so much, but I had to play this one. I think it really should be part of what's wrong with these podcasters.
Hey, it's Greg Dixon from NPR's State of Ukraine podcast. I'm one of thousands of NPR
What's
network...
the name of this podcast?
State of Ukraine, baby. It's the State of Ukraine.
What kind of podcast is that?
It's a podcast about the state of Ukraine. I bet he has maps. Does he have access to maps? I bet he has maps.
Hey, it's Greg Dixon from NPR's State of Ukraine.
By the way, just don't start your promo with hey. It feels rude.
Hey, it's Greg Dixon from NPR's State of Ukraine podcast.
Hey.
I'm one of thousands of NPR network voices coming to you from over 200 local newsrooms across the country.
Hey.
We bring all Americans closer together through free and independent journalism, music, politics, culture, and so much more. The NPR network. What you hear changes everything. Learn more at npr.org/network.
Okay. There's a lot wrong with that podcast.
Hey,
two things. So, two pieces of information regarding Project Veritas. One, it seems like the executive director is out. Our guy.
Yeah, he's gone. So much for our inside.
Yes, he resigned, which is we both find rather interesting.
Yeah, we do.
And at the same time, the OMG, the O'Keefe Media Group, continues to do great work with crap sound. It's amazing. O'Keefe. Look, I cannot believe we helped him when he was at Project Veritas to get their sound together so you could actually use bits of their audio. O'Keefe no one's advising him now. Now he has nobody to help him. But he had a pretty good piece because, what he's doing now is he's just sending microphones to people and saying, go honeypot somebody. And it's great. So he had one of his O'Keefe Media Group peoples, a girl or a young woman, clearly hitting on this dude, Luke Borwegan, who was a staffer for John Fetterman. And by the way, this works so well. You say, hey, I'd like to have lunch with you. And then you just start asking questions. And this guy, his blood is drained from his brain. He's just saying anything that he can.
Do we get a look at this woman?
No, we don't see her. But it doesn't matter. I know how this works.
Yeah,
so here's the tea.
I think a lot of guys would fall for this.
Yes. Well, that's how they got the Pfizer guy on a date with a guy. Totally
similar, but not quite the same.
Well, it's the same idea. So O'Keefe sets us up and makes us laugh, and then I went through the trouble of fixing his audio to listen to the original, which is much better.
Borwegan's special assistant to John Fetterman says that they pick journalists that will, quote, say exactly what the you want them to. He also says that the journalists are puppets. He actually names the journalists, including...
Okay, so
but by the way...
Yeah.
I know why you're playing this.
Yes, that's why I stopped short here. But now I fixed the audio. I fixed it. So while he was spending time bleeping out an expletive, I fixed his audio so we can listen to the gloriousness of this dude who is thinking he's getting laid and is probably never going to work in Washington ever again. and he names a number of journalists, not just the one that you know of.
They're desperate for an interview with John. I mean, don't mean they're bad reporters, but if you want to access journalism, it's like reporters who will basically tell whatever story the same tech wants, as long as they get the interview. There's certain Trump journalists who are accused of that.
Can you hear this okay? Is it?
Yeah, no, keep playing. Okay. It's good. It's good enough.
Good.
Because everybody wants an interview with the guy. Yeah. But that's the thing, is when you're so exclusive with who you give interviews to, it's the ones you pick will just say exactly what they want to,
So that's why you pick the journalists that you pick, or they'll say whatever you want them to.
Yeah, pretty much. They want to paint it in a bad light, You see that Joe Scarborough interview?
Who?
That Joe Scarborough?
Joe Scarborough?
Yeah, Scarborough. They heard of Morning Joe?
Was that a guy that you guys did an interview with?
Yeah, and he actually sucks. Pod Save America, it's these former Pod Save America, Pod.
So far we've got Joe Scarborough, Morning Joe. He sucks, but he'll say whatever we want. And then Pod Save America.
Oh, Pod Save America?
Yeah, they're these former Obama staffers.
I like the way she's good as an amateur.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's Pod.
She doesn't need much coaching because she specifically stops and pronounces things slowly.
Yep.
And enunciates. Oh, you mean Pod Save America?
She's great. She is. She's a gem for sure. She must be a looker, John, and she's got the vocal fry going on. She got everything. She's really doing a good job on this guy.
Pod Save America, podcast.
Oh, Pod Save America?
Yeah, they're these former Obama staffers who, they were one of the first big political podcasts. Mm-hmm. I think they're the number one political podcast in the country. Just because they've had it for 10 years and we built up brand before anybody else had podcasts.
Yeah.
We did an interview with them post-Trump. a month out from the election. Okay. And they did really well.
Because you knew they would go along with what you wanted?
Oh, yeah.
So who are those journalists that you guys like?
We have an interview with Time on Time magazine, and there's this like tech reporter who is also has like veered into political stuff. Her name is Kara Swisher, and she like has multiple podcasts that I listen to like every single day.
Kara
Swisher. She's like one of the best.
Is she one of the ones that has interviewed Senator though? It's so interesting, but I wonder who they are because I'll listen to those people.
There's like puppets though.
Kara Swisher, she's the best. They're all puppets. Ha!
Okay, now I was ignoring this story because you did this extra work to make it so it was very good job, by the way. So I'm going to give you a clip of the day for that.
Oh, well, this I had not expected. I'm humbled. Thank you very much.
Clip of the day.
But yeah, this woman, whoever she is a natural.
And Kara Swisher needs to repent. I mean, it's one thing if James O'Keefe calls you out, like, who cares? She'll just say, James O'Keefe is a douchebag, blah, blah, blah. But this is an actual guy who booked you to interview Fetterman. And I remember her interview and her saying, Fetterman's great. I had no problem understanding him. He had no problem understanding me. He was fantastic. He's a great guy. And she's a total doofus shill, and they know it, and they're using her for access journalism. If this doesn't embarrass her, then nothing. Well, okay, then nothing will embarrass. Nothing's going to embarrass her. I just thought that was beautiful.
Hey, you have to do what you have to do to get the interviews.
To get it, man. Yeah, to get the interviews, because I'm Kara Swisher. I have a podcast. I'm the award-winning Pivot podcast in the technology category.
Actually, the fact that you get an award after something like this came out is...
It kind of says it
all,
doesn't it?
The reason we have to do awards. Just a little callback there for everyone.
Yes. What I have left is some climate change stuff, and I have...
Well, I want to get some top news out of the way.
All right, top news, second half. What do we got?
I want to start with the default BS, so we just get that out of the way. This is just the NPR report, very short.
The White House is delivering a stark warning about the severe consequences a potential default would have on the nation. NPR's Windsor Johnston reports talks between administration and congressional negotiators picked back up again today after hitting a snag yesterday.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre struck an urgent tone, warning that too much is at stake for lawmakers to allow the U.S. to default on its debt.
A default would have catastrophic impacts in every single part of this country, whether you're in a red state or in a blue state.
Republicans are refusing to accept a deal unless it results in the government spending less money than it did in the last fiscal year. Democrats, including President Biden, argue that the GOP demand to cut spending is unreasonable. Without an agreement, the U.S. could default on its debt by as early as June 1st.
Question about this. I don't know. I didn't hear the last DH Unplugged. There's got to be a name for this type of trade that you do on this. Because we all know at the very last second it's going to...
It's called negotiating.
No. I mean, there's got to be a trade, a put, a call, something you can make.
You mean some money you can make on this deal?
Yes, everybody's doing it. I'm sure of it. It's got to be called like the debt ceiling trade or something like that. There's got to be something.
I'll ask him next time.
Please do, because you know that people know how this works. They know wouldn't it surprise us if we actually, quote unquote, defaulted? And now we have the ratings agencies are talking about downgrading us.
Yeah, that's part of the scheme, yeah. It's part of the playbook.
It is part of the playbook.
Now, I got one clip here. We're not going to talk about Ukraine today, but we should at least talk about the Ukraine Bakhmut body count. We've never heard this before.
The head of Russia's private Wagner military group says his force lost more than 20,000 men in the drawn-out battle for the eastern Ukrainian city of Bakhmut. About half the number apparently Russian convicts recruited to fight in the now 15-month-old war.
What?
That figure is in stark contrast to claims from Moscow. Just more than 6,000 troops have been killed in the war as of January. Ukraine has not said how many of its soldiers have died in Russia's invasion. Analysts believe the 9-month fight for Bakhmut alone cost the lives of tens of thousands of soldiers.
All right, hold on a second. I do have some reports about Ukraine and some very interesting ones, mainly from France 24, where we tend to get the truth. So listen to this from our friends at the Wagner Group.
Well, this morning, Ukraine's Deputy Defense Minister Hanna Maliar seemed to confirm that the Ukrainians are observing exactly that transfer of Wagner mercenaries to regular Russian army troops on the outskirts of Bakhmut. She said they weren't observing it at the moment in the city centre where Wagner mercenaries remain. But that's consonant with what Yevgeny Prigozhin has been saying, which is that they'll fully pull out by June the 1st.
Now, what you are literally seeing in all of these reports is that hot dog guy talking to two dudes in military garb with masks on. So we're led to believe that the Wagner group now is transferring power from hot dog man to two dudes with masks on. Very unconvincing.
Slightly oddly, he added that he was going to leave two, what he described as elite members of the Wagner forces in the city centre.
He's leaving two members of the elite forces there. Please.
In Bakhmut to help out.
Two ex-cons?
Yeah, probably.
Ukraine has not recognized having fully lost control of Bakhmut. They say they still hold some positions on the western outskirts of the city. What Ukrainian commanders there are saying, I've been telling my colleague from France 24 Spanish channel anyway, is that Ukraine's plan is to push the Russians back further on the northern and southern outskirts of the city and then sort of try to force them back into the city centre and then bombard them when they're there. That's Ukraine's strategy to take back Bakhmut in the medium term. Whether or not they'll be able to pull it off, though, is another question.
So this is all bullcrap, and the whole plan, which France 24 just told the world, no, they're gonna have some guys up north and guys down below, and they're gonna bomb them together, and that'll get them. Okay, I'm very impressed. No, Wagner Group is out. We have a new group, and this is where all the journalists were. The journalists were all summoned to go visit this group behind the Russian incursion. You saw this, yes? You saw the deep into Russian territory. All of a sudden, it was Russians. They're traitors. What's happening? What's going on?
Crap this is.
Well, wait until you hear this report from France 24.
We've been brought here to this secret location towards Ukraine's northern border with Russia.
Mind you, what you're seeing some kind of personnel carrier. There's 3 dudes sitting on this personnel carrier, and there must be 100 journalists taking pictures. 100 at the secret location, John. Secret location.
We've been brought here.
I'm surprised this isn't on the BBC Verify map.
We've been brought here to this secret location towards Ukraine's northern border with Russia in a highly mediatized operation.
A highly mediatized operation. Have you ever heard of this?
I've never heard that word used.
Mediatized. Is that even a word?
Mediatized. It sounds like something that's part of a detergent.
I think it sounds like a show title. What is mediatized? Is that even a word? Hold on. Let me consult the Book of Knowledge.
I don't think it is a word, but it might be.
Mediatized. Well, mediatized. Yes, it is. Mediatized is in the Free Dictionary. First one I hit here. Mediatized. To annex to a greater state as means of permitting the ruler of lesser state to remain titled. What?
What's it got to do with the media?
I don't know. Mediatized. Mediatized.
Well, we'll play that clip again. Let's see what the context is and what she's
We've been
trying
brought here
to say.
to this secret location towards Ukraine's northern border with Russia in a highly mediatized operation. We've been brought to meet 2 groups, the Freedom of Russia Legion and the Russian Volunteer Corps, who participated in the spectacular incursion into Russian territory in the Belgorod region. And they've been telling us some details about that, although it remains shrouded in mystery.
Mediatized. To annex to another state while allowing certain rights to its former sovereign. This is a very interesting word they're using here. So does that mean that they consider this area of Russia to be actually Ukrainian? Or is this used in the context of this is Ukrainian, but it's actually Russian?
So if this supposedly, the way they've analyzed this, at least our media friends, that this was nothing to do with Ukraine. No. This was a bunch of Russians trying to get rid of Putin.
Oh, wait until you hear it.
It's really unclear just how much support the Ukrainian authorities gave them. They've publicly denied any direct support, but there's so much we don't know about how this incursion happened. It's the first known joint operation involving these two Russian paramilitary groups formed in Ukraine, both ardently anti-Kremlin.
The first goal, we want to stop war in Ukraine. The second goal, we want...
So this is the first guy. He doesn't really say anything interesting, but wait until you hear the the good English-speaking Russian.
To change Putin's regime. We want to free our country. It's our business, our own Russian business. Civil war.
They want a civil war in Russia. This is the new Wagner group. You watch.
Showing off what he claimed is a captured Russian armored vehicle, the highly controversial leader of the Russian Volunteer Corps, Denis Nikitin, hailed the operation.
Denis Nikitin, the smoker. Denis Nikitin, that's the guy we're all...
Controversial leader of the Russian Volunteer Corps, Denis Nikitin, hailed the operation as a communications success.
Communications success, wow.
I understood that Nikitin smoked him out.
Brushing off questions about his far-right roots.
They never concealed our, so to say, ideas. So we're conservative, traditionalist, right-wing. I don't think there's a problem. I don't care how Russians would call me. They keep on calling us names, traitors, Nazis, neo-Nazis, actually, to be correct.
I like how he's correcting them. We're not Nazis. Hey, Russians. We're neo-Nazis. Just say, if you're going to call us Nazis, call us the right kind of Nazis.
I don't care how Russians would call me. They keep on calling us names, traitors, Nazis, neo-Nazis, actually, to be correct. So, should we care?
The implications of this incursion could be far-reached. As well as any military impact, it could have a psychological impact too, perhaps sowing panic in Russia, creating chaos. That's what these men hope. But it also gives the Kremlin an argument to say that Russia is a victim in this war. It also could divert Russian troops away from other frontline areas in Ukraine as they prepare their counteroffensive.
I think that this is the new group to watch. They need a snazzy name, not neo-Nazis. Nico Nikitin, whatever the guy's name is. He's a great spokesperson. He's much better than Hot Dog Boy. I think that, this mediatized information, what was it? What did she call it?
Mediatized.
No, she called it, but it was information coup or something like.
Oh, I don't know what. No, I missed that.
This is the new thing to watch because now we all need to be talking about.
They do have to have a name.
They got to have a name, but we need to be talking about them causing, strife and discord within Russia because they're going to be against Putin. It's going to be civil war. I think this is a strategy. It may not be the one, but it's definitely a strategy. And I think there's something there.
I smell Victoria Nuland.
Wow. If there ever was an opening to this show. Meanwhile, Jake Sullivan explains how they magically found $3 billion to send to Ukraine.
There was this very bizarre admission from the Pentagon this week of an accounting error that suggested that the U.S. has at least $3 billion that it didn't know it had that it can use for Ukraine aid. That's a hell of an accounting error, and it provides a lot of fodder to critics of U.S. aid to Ukraine and critics who say there's not enough oversight going on. Are you concerned about this accounting error?
Well, one thing I just want to make clear, that is not money that went out the door and disappeared. That is not a waste of that $3 billion. It is simply a tally of how much military equipment we have given them. And the way that the Pentagon was counting it was, what's the replacement cost for the equipment we provide rather than just the actual cost of that equipment. Once you make that adjustment, it turns out we have an additional $3 billion that we can spend to provide even more weapons to Ukraine.
Even more weapons to Ukraine. So
wait, they were counting it as what it cost to buy as opposed to what it cost to replace. That makes no sense what he said.
It does if you listen to, and there's no coincidence in the kingdom. 60 Minutes did a whole piece on the military gouging the American public.
With the U.S.
or the military-industrial complex.
Supplying billions of dollars of munitions to Ukraine and growing tensions in the Taiwan Strait, some Pentagon generals are sounding alarms about the dwindling supply of U.S. weapons at a time when the cost of replacing them is skyrocketing. We wondered why the Pentagon is finding it hard to procure weapons it needs at a price taxpayers can afford. A 6-month investigation by 60 Minutes found it has less to do with foreign entanglements than domestic ones, what can only be described as price gouging by U.S. defense contractors.
Now, this is 60 Minutes. It's on CBS, the CIA broadcast systems. This cannot be a coincidence that we throw out this confusing $3 billion thing where people are going humana, and then 60 Minutes does a whole piece on the military-industrial complex gouging us? This is not a coincidence. Here's just one little bit of this, which I thought was great.
The Pentagon granted companies unprecedented leeway to monitor themselves. Instead of saving money, Assad told us the price of almost everything began to rise. In the competitive environment before the companies consolidated, a shoulder-fired Stinger missile cost $25,000 in 1991. With Raytheon now the sole supplier, it costs more than $400,000 to replace each missile sent to Ukraine.
A shoulder-fired missile costs $400,000?
Sounds like a gouge.
This
it says it used to cost $25,000.
This is an outrage.
Even accounting for inflation and some improvements, that's a 7-fold increase.
Why? What is going on here? Someone's going after the Pentagon. Someone's going after... I don't know. I mean, even Palki Shawarma is in on it. She had something to say, which is not reported at all.
A perfect storm is brewing in America. The U.S. government might soon run out of cash. Investors are preparing for a government default. And if that wasn't enough, now doubts are being raised over American warplanes. A big lapse has come to light at the Pentagon. Spare parts worth millions of dollars are missing. They're unaccounted for. And the Pentagon cannot come up with an explanation. Which parts are these? They are for the F-35 fighter jet, the most advanced warplane in the world. Also America's most important weapon as of today. If there's a war, if there's a need to demonstrate air power, the F-35 will be seen in action. But to keep that warplane ready for battle, the U.S. must maintain an inventory for spare parts.
Something's going on. What do you think is going on here?
I have no idea. They're obviously going to try to put the screws to some of these guys.
Yeah.
Why now?
I don't know. I mean, well, the only thing they can say is, you know what? We're in real trouble here. We need spare parts. We need to replenish our supply. We're so sorry. We know. I mean, it's going to be expensive, but we need to do it, and then we'll do it. Then we'll do an audit of the Pentagon. How about
They're never going to do an audit of the Pentagon.
No, of course not, but they will promise another one. You know, Lucy can pull the football many times.
This is basically just one giant scam.
No, you don't say. I heard from one of our military insiders, the F-16s that we will be sending to Ukraine via, they will come from one of the European countries.
Right.
Most likely the Netherlands, who canceled a 40-unit sale to an American arms dealer. And that's, exactly the amount that Ukraine wants. He says they will be multiple generations behind, because we were discussing this. Will they be old things? What will it be? Multiple generations behind. They will not have any of the high-tech gear that we have in it. We never sell our planes to other countries with all the cool new gadgets. And they are and there's a whole history behind the F-16. It's a very bare-bones thing. You actually have to be quite the pilot to operate these well. It's not just let me train you in a couple of months and you're good to go, Tom Cruise. So look for lots of crashes. Lots of ejections is basically the word. A lot of ejections.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm out of here.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
And we do have a few people to thank for show 1558, starting with Ian Field from Parts Unknown for $100. David Icard in Fair Acres, New Mexico, $100. Then Moose from Lost Wages, Nevada comes in as the switcheroo, actually, for a birthday donation for his best friend and officiant of the wedding, John Aldridge. And he's got a birthday call for John Aldridge, so that credit goes to him. That's $100. Sir West in Seattle, Washington is $100. He says he was waiting for the sad puppy. I forgot all about the sad puppy. Jason Maurer. We did have an issue with the newsletter.
Yeah, was that
good time to?
What happened? What happened with the newsletter?
Well, nobody was opening them, and there was. I think it was because the word suicide. So I think it went to some. I think it was bypassed, and they went. Is this okay? Can we send this out, or is it advocating for suicide? I think that's. I honestly believe that happened.
Yeah, I think that's probably true. And it was Outlook was the one that caught it the most.
And then Outlook caught a whole bunch of them out of the blue, and they were all Gmail accounts from Outlook. And somebody sent me a note. Outlook does
look for keywords. Probably
Outlook manages Gmail.
What?
I don't think
Outlook manages Gmail? That doesn't sound right.
There's something going on with Outlook and Gmail, and there was we're talking about 40 or 50 of these things. So I had to send out the second little note in plain text and explain the situation, and it usually results in some extra additional donations, hopefully. And it also we've had some other anomalies that have cropped up recently. Few people are getting the thing in spam. Outlook is a real problem, by the way. It sucks. Sir Wes is up on the podium with Seattle, Washington for $100. He's bitching about the missing sad puppy. Jason Maurer in Vancouver, 8008. Kevin McLaughlin's back in Locust, North Carolina with 8008. And he says for show 1558, he's donated. We had it up there. No jingles, no karma. He's got that all on there. We already read that note. Eric in Holly Springs, North Carolina, 8008. He's also in North Carolina. He's a de-douching.
Sorry.
You've been de-douched.
Sir Layton in Dothan, Alabama is 8008. Also, Eric Haleen in Grafton, Ohio is 8008. Wow. Adam Hebert in South Windsor, Connecticut is 8008. And Sir Herb Lamb in Sugar Hill, Georgia is 8008. He says he's been overboard lately, but so here's a boob donation for Memorial Day.
Oh, thank you.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Aaron Garone, Goene, in Mead, Nebraska, 8008.
Woohoo!
Sir Pate in Amsterdam.
Sir Pete, actually.
Pete.
Yeah.
7777. Viscount. Can I get a healthy dose of goat karma? We'll give you that at the end. He also needs some F-cancer karma for all that needed. Sir Skip Logic in Spring Hill, Tennessee, 75. Gregory Kierdock in Padova, Italy. Oh, he's in Padua. That's what it is.
Padova.
He's in Padua, Italy. 6661.
Nice.
We got an Italian, finally. Hey. Stephen Mann in Plymouth, Michigan, $60. I received the newsletter just fine with fastmail.com. James Scott in Parlin, New Jersey, 60. Sir Wags in Havre de Grace, Maryland.
De Grace.
5678. Angela Pickering in Sour Lake, Texas. 5678. Still love the content. Don't change a thing. Marcus Muller in Montabaur, Deutschland. 5522. Another Muller. Sir Michael in Snohomish, Washington. 5510. Double nickels on the dime. Andrew Panabianco in Peoria, Arizona. 5462. Surprise Night in Yukon, Oklahoma. 5444. Dave Fugazzotto's back from Gladstone, Missouri.
Our Duke, yes.
5423, and he says, yo. Srivnas Murti, our Brahmin from Culpeper, Virginia, 5271. Ariel Powell in Kutztown, Pennsylvania, 5253. Happy 10th. Oh, it's a happy 10th anniversary to Honey Butt.
Honey Butt. Okay.
Honey Butt.
Honey Butt.
Who I hit in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon Myers in Dripping Springs, Texas, 5150. He says,
Dripping
in the morning, Dripping Springs, Texas, gateway to hell.
No, gateway to hill country.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I said hell. Bob Butler in Cumming, Georgia, 5069.
Oh, he's got a meet up there tonight. Yeah, we'll do it.
Sir D.H. Slammer's back from Buellton, California.
Yeah, nice.
Viscount. James Little in Alameda, California. 5033, and that'll be a donation. Dame Knight in Edmonds, Washington, 5015. Forrest Martin in Parts Unknown, 5005. Scott Nelson, 5001. So now we have the $50 donors. Name and location if I have it. Starting with Richard Lindquist in Sequim, Washington. Sir Patrick Maycomb in New York City. Tatiana Prince in Hollywood, Florida. Robert Hanna in Poway, California. Kate Haskell in San Rafael, California. David Perdue in Snow Hill, North Carolina. Donald Locke in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Bart Beekwilder in Brabant, Nord.
Yes.
Vegel.
Vegel
to you.
Vegel.
Gaucho Woodworking in Redondo Beach, California. He needs a de-douche.
You've been de-douched.
What? Gaucho, is that like Argentinian wood carvings?
No, I've actually looked at his website. Didn't put it in here, but the Gaucho Woodworking. Look it up.
Okay.
Gaucho Woodworking in Redondo Beach, California. He does wild stuff.
All right.
Alexa Delgado in Aptos, California. Michael Romano in Sebastopol. Greg Huff in Austin, Texas. Charles Boyd in San Marcos, Texas. Diego Lopez Crane in Ithaca, New York. Brian Hummel in Wimberley, Texas. Andrew Butterfield in Bettendorf, Iowa. Samuel Cannerday in North Riverside, Illinois. John Walter in Wenatchee, Washington. The Tax Squad in Columbus, Georgia. Ryan Livesey in Sacramento, California. Amy Grohl in Burien, Washington, just by the airport. William Kidwell in Dover, Deutschland. Really? No, Dover, Delaware. Sorry. Dover, Delaware. And last but not least, Paul Dubois in Kerhonkson, New York. I don't agree with everything he writes, but I appreciate the discussion.
Hey, if you agree with everything we're saying here, we're the wrong podcast for you. That's
go
for sure.
someplace else.
Yeah, that's definitely not the right way. Thank you all very much. Thank you to these people who supported the show. Also came in under $50, typically for anonymity, which means we will not mention your name at all, but also, very importantly, sustaining donations. These are subscriptions. There's a number of good ones, like 333s and 1111s, and just all kinds of good numbers. Or you can make one up yourself to learn about that and how to become an executive or associate executive producer of the best podcast in the universe. Go here. Dvorak.org/NA. And there was an F cancer request. We got that. We did a little bit of goat.
You've got karma.
And indeed, we have have birthdays for today. We've got Sir Dr. Jeff, who celebrated on May 14th. Brian Carter on the 22nd. Sean celebrating today. Hetty says happy birthday to sister-in-law Kate and to Brian. Moose wishes John Aldrich a happy birthday for today. And the Baron of Schatziland gets happy birthday wishes from his entire family. Happy birthday from everyone here at the best podcast in the universe.
Title changes, turn and face the slate. Nice changes. Don't want to be a douchebag.
And here is an official title change as approved by the Peerage Committee. Dame Jamie of the Highway, now today officially known as Sir Jamie of the Highway, and we congratulate him with his official title change. Very unique on the best podcast in the universe. Thank you very much for sending your note. Thank you for your courage. We have 3 nights, and here is a 3-night blade.
Here's mine.
There you go. Put down the harmonica. Very good. Bobby Brindlehorse, Kevin Gargiulo, and Corey. Gentlemen, I think all gentlemen, all of you have now become knights of the No Agenda Roundtable. Maybe a knight, yeah, it's a knight, dame, whatever, it doesn't matter. I am very, very proud to pronounce the KD as Sir Ladyboy Brindlehorse, Sir Kevin G. of the Lake Lanier Boaters, and Sir Corey of the Fourth Watch. For you, we've got Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys, and Chardonnay. By request, Prime Rib and Cheap Beer, Cannabis and Cream Soda, along with that Gayson and Sake, Vodka, Vanilla, Bong Hits and Bourbon, Sparkling Cider and Escort, Ginger Ale and Gerbils, Breast Milk and Pablum, Rubeneth, Rumen and Rosé. And, of course, we've got the mutton and the mead for you. And while you're snacking on all that, go to noagendarings.com, size your finger. There's a whole system that teaches you how to do that. And send us your address so we can get those handsome night rings out to you. And thank you for becoming royalty here at the No Agenda Show.
No Agenda Meetups.
No Agenda Meetups, very important connection is your protection in these weird days. And all the things that we talked about here on the show, people have different opinions. We clearly have people of different, all different walks of life. See our new knight, Sir Ladyboy Brindlehorse. We have all kinds of people, and you can meet them all, and it'll be cool, and you'll have a good time because you all have No Agenda, the show, Gitmo Nation in common, in general, and that's what these meetups are all about. You will enjoy it, I guarantee. No one has ever said, I went to the meetup and it sucked. I've never heard that ever. Never hear that.
Yeah, no, you have.
No, I haven't.
The one guy does the meetup, nobody shows up.
Well, even that guy, it was in Geary, Indiana, he said, it was okay. And the next time, like 8 people came. No, no one ever comes away disappointed. Jeff Tohig from the Land of Mars rover, Sir Jeff, he did the Albuquerque meetup, and he says, in the morning, Adam, very small meetup, myself and Britton coming down from Santa Fe on his way back to Louisiana, having finished his junior year up there at Liberal Arts School. We had a great deal of things to talk about, very No Agenda centric and very enjoyable. There would have been an audio report. There was a very loud DJ on the patio causing us to head inside. Cheers from Sir Jeff. Thank you very much, Sir Jeff. We have a meetup taking place today in North Georgia. That's their monthly meetup at Barley Garden, the rooftop. Look for 33 golden balloons in Alpharetta, Georgia. We have one more at the Roadhouse, 6:30 at Lincoln's Roadhouse in Denver, Colorado. The Springville, Utah meetup has been postponed. That's for tomorrow. On Saturday, the No Agenda Pirate-Seeking Booty Flotilla, 8 o'clock in the morning at Boca Grande Sandbar in the Water, Placida, Florida. Oh, that sounds like a fun one. No Agenda Pirate-Seeking Booty Flotilla. Hop on that flotilla. The Displaced DMV Natives, 10 o'clock in the morning, 119 North Loudon Street, Winchester, Virginia. Sounds like a spook meetup to me. Central Ohio, Hit 'em in the Mouth meetup, 2 o'clock on Saturday at Ringside Cafe in Columbus, Ohio. The Flight of the No Agenda meetup number 41, 333 in the land of the gruesome Newsome. Steelcraft, Long Beach, California. Leo Bravo hosting that as usual. And man, you are coughing and sneezing and tooting your horn.
I have not sneezed once.
That's true. But you've coughed and you've blown your nose. And
I have blown my nose twice.
Yes. Well, I just want to make sure you're okay. I mean, I love the sound effects. It's so appealing. Just want to make sure you're okay. Barren Wasteland visits Sharon, PA to celebrate Matthew Perna, 4 o'clock at Laddie's Sky Club in Missouri, Ohio. And for Saturday, the final one, I Must Be High, number 11, 7 o'clock at McSorley's Wonderful Saloon and Grill in Toronto, organized by Sir I Must Be High, of course. Meetups throughout the month, the rest of the month of May, of course, and June. I might want to mention June 2nd in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. Hello, Cannes, French Riviera on June 4th. This is how good we are, man. We are bad. We are worldwide. Make sure you go to noagendameetups.com to find out where there is one taking place near you. If you can't find one, start one yourself. It's easy and guaranteed a party.
Sometimes you want to go hang out with all the nights and days. You wanna be where you won't be triggered or held to blame. You wanna be where everybody feels the same. It's like a party.
I got some climate change, if you're interested.
By the way, I just should mention, I'm looking at the stock chart for this company, VF Corp,
for
VFC.
The North Face.
Jeez, this thing has just been on a steady decline. It's like dive.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, it's way down. It's as low as I can tell.
That's interesting. It's interesting. You want to hear a couple of funny climate change clips?
How about the ISOs?
Oh, I'm sorry. What am I thinking? I was all jacked about it. I have 3. Do you have any? What do you have? Do you have a couple of?
I have 2.
Okay. Do you have winners? Do you think you have winners?
I don't have any winners. I have 2 good ones though.
Okay. Here's your first. Which one do I do first?
Sophia.
100%.
You even mislabeled it just to throw me off. Okay.
And then we have forever.
I was like, is this what I want forever?
What is she saying?
I was like, is this what I want forever?
It's like, this is what you want forever.
I was like, is this what I want forever?
Is this what I want forever?
It's almost a pair.
I was like, is this what I want forever? 100%.
It's almost like a pair. I'm liking those, John. I got to tell you. Let me see what I have.
This story is no bull.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Trump ain't my homework.
I kind of like that.
Trump ain't my homework.
Maybe this one.
There's going to be no agenda.
I am torn. I like you forever. I like you, Sophia. Honestly, I like them together.
I was like, is this what I want forever? 100%.
I mean,
perfect.
I think we need to use those too. That's very good. Very good. Oh, wait.
I'm having a harder time getting clips from her.
From Sophia. Yeah.
She had one of the Vanderpump Rules people on, and they just did an interview. It was just unlistenable.
That's why you weren't watching TMZ. You're listening to Sophia.
No, that's what triggered my comment. I said, "Is this everywhere?"
Yeah, Vanderpump Rules been around a long time too. It's not like new.
I don't even get it. Who's Vanderpump?
Oh, please. Let's listen to a BBC.
If you're going to play funny climate clips, I get to finish the show with a couple of Biden killers.
All right. Well, I get to first do a clip from the BBC where the reader or the writer of this story had something else on their mind.
The UN Human Rights Chief has urged the 2 warring generals in Sudan to stop sexual violence and spare the lives of civilians. Volker Turk called on Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo to stop what he called the senseless violence.
I think she said sexual in the beginning instead of senseless.
She said sodomize the public or something.
The UN Human Rights Chief has urged the 2 warring generals in Sudan to stop sexual violence and spare the lives of civilians.
I think she's saying
sodomize.
Sexual. Whatever it was wrong. Okay. 2 stupid stories regarding climate change. Of course, we had the World Meteorological Organization, the WMO, come out and say 60% certain that we're all going to die. And here we go.
Now, the French government is launching a national consultation on its climate change roadmap today. The initiative comes amid warnings that the country must prepare for temperatures of 4 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels at the end of this century. According to France's Minister for Ecological Transition, the most optimistic scenario would be by the year 2100 a 2-degree increase for metropolitan France, but they say a 4-degree increase is actually more likely.
We're all gonna die!
By 2100, what are you opening?
This is a Soleil Original.
Soleil Original. Very nice. Is that a hard seltzer?
No, it's just bubbly water.
And this report, I have multiple versions of it. I'm only going to play the CNN version because it's just too delicious to believe.
It's a live look at beautiful New York City, but you better look now because apparently it's sinking. According to a new geological study, the city's skyscrapers are so heavy they are weighing down the island. Together, they weigh nearly 1.7 trillion pounds.
So the whole idea of this report is that there's so much concrete that the city is sinking. Mind you, 2 millimeters a year. 2 millimeters. That's almost nothing, and I don't know how you measure it. But
I think this was a misreporting of that. Was somebody making a comment that New York City is stinking?
Let's listen to how they twist this, though.
The study comes as the Army Corps of Engineers is racing to find ways to prevent the city from being submerged.
Oh, no.
What?
The Army Corps of Engineers is racing because we're sinking by 2 millimeters a year. We have to race to save the city. Save the city. Save the city.
During future natural disasters. Oh, my gosh. Bill, we both live by the water in Brooklyn, and I like it. And I would like to remain above sea level.
Wait a minute. These people are all in on climate change. Why are they living by the water? What is wrong with you?
Good
Well, you have
question.
a lot of people working on just that. I don't know if you guys can feel Hudson Yards sinking. It's really slow. It's only about the thickness of a couple of nickels.
No. 2 millimeters would literally be less than 1 nickel, but okay.
That's about it. That's the average of the whole city over a year. But certain parts of the city, depending on the soil, depending on groundwater, is sinking faster than others. Staten Island more vulnerable here. So the problem is the 1.7 trillion tons of carbon dioxide that is in the sea and sky that is melting polar ice and raising sea levels slowly. So while the city is going down, the water's coming up. It's all a trade-off now as we think about living in this new world. Lower Manhattan, obviously the financial center of the universe in many places. So protecting that with engineering in our lifetimes is going to be a new, very expensive reality.
A very expensive reality. All that was missing was they should, instead of Lower Manhattan, the financial district, they should have called the FI-DI, which is what all the hipsters call it now. FI-DI.
I have 2 Biden clips.
That's what you're going to end us with? Biden clips?
Yeah, because one of them is a great ending clip.
Okay, all right. Which one?
Well, they're always Biden.
Biden is pretty good.
Now, this is the one he did at the G7, and this has been going around and around. Everyone loves it. This is the Biden's, I got the wrong list of clips.
The Biden G7 ramble.
What is the clips?
The Biden G7 ramble? Is that the one?
The Biden G7 ramble.
And there's a lot of other, for example, the idea that we're, in terms of taxes, that they refuse to, for example, I was able to balance the budget and pass everything from the global warming bill. Anyway, I was able to cut by $1.7 billion in the first 2 years the deficit that we were accumulating. And because I was able to say to it that the 55 corporations in America that made $400 billion, that they pay zero in tax. Zero.
I just want to remind you that you, at a certain point in the recent past, had the theory that Biden is actually some kind of genius mobster, head of a crime family, and all of this bumbling and mumbling is just an act, like the old Giovasi family guy who was
that
who
old
was
man. He went on. He ran the family for 20, 30 years like that.
Yeah, you gonna keep to it? You're going to stick to that?
It's still plausible.
It's still plausible. Okay.
Although the next one, which is the short little end point, which is where Biden, this is a 7-second clip, which I think is a gem.
cut the deficit by $160 billion. Billion, B-I-L-L-I-O-N, dollars on the Medicare deal.
Billion. Billion. Mr. President, please, whatever you do, don't spell anything. Please, Mr. President, please. Just don't do it, okay? What a dope.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, he's clearly a genius, John. Clearly a genius. Clearly. All right, everybody, that is it for us. Coming up next on No Agenda Stream, if you're listening to that in the Troll Room, if you're on one of those fancy apps, you'll get the Private Citizen episode 154, The Democratic Delusion. That's new. I have no idea what that is. I might even stick around and listen to that myself. End of show mixes, Dee's Laughs, Abel Kirby by request with Millennial, and Mr. M. All next on our end of show mixes. And we look forward to seeing you on Sunday. Coming to you now from the heart of the Texas Hill Country. That's the other side of Dripping Springs. FEMA Region number 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where it's blustery, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We return on Sunday with 3 more hours, more or less, of media deconstruction to spin you down in a spun-up world. Until then, adios, mofos, a hooey hooey, and such. This is some email feedback. You ready?
Yeah.
Your end of show or beginning of show rapper sounds like shit. As a 65-year-old white man, I get how your MTV days would make you think you sound good, and your old partner is 70.
This dude is a weirdo to be sure. Missing the show now. I bet he's looking for the cure for the email feedback. Appreciate that. Rescind my knighthood. You can keep that, saying that I can't rap. Sound like shit. You're hoping to hear his name one more time, but that's it. No talent, and you want to come after these jokes on you like Gangstar. You know my steez, using a pseudonym as a blocking tracker. Then you call the podfather a cracker.
But please remember, you are a 65-year-old white cracker.
Now your end of show rapper is trash. From the producers at No Agenda, you can kiss my ass. No talent to add. Instead, I guess you'll throw a shot about as needed in this world as these COVID blood clots. Used to be a fan. No one asked my man. Don't listen or agree with No Agenda, not a stand. Look here, kiddo, the show is not for you. So out of line for calling John a proper bag Jew. MTV days would make you think he sounds good. Just typing tough keystrokes make me sound hood. Enjoy the bug. You're not a thug. Put the meds down, my guy. I think you need a hug.
The bugs.
What bugs are up his ass?
I don't know, but maybe it's Seth here with his man overboard and rescinding his knighthood. A pseudonym, CC555.
Way on the other side of the brunch bar, deep in the gentrified city of Austin, I met a young girl walking her 2 dogs, a black Irish setter and miniature dachshund. Standing by the corner in a Parker hip-teak blouse, she was lost cause her iPhone battery died. I showed her how to find the way to the coffee house. She was swiping right, and so was I. She's a millennial, I fell in love with her. She took a scooter to the doggy daycare. I found her on Insta, she posted pressed memes. I liked all the pictures so she'd know that I care. I called an Uber and I put in my 12-gauge plugs. I picked her up at a park full of tents and trams. She had a shopping cart full of stuff. I said, wait, you're homeless? She said, yeah, I guess I am.
We love trans people. We need trans people. Bro, what are you talking about, man?
We need trans. We need trans people. We need trans. We need trans people. We need trans people. Please help around here. We need trans people. Please help around here. We need trans people. Please help around here. We need trans people. And I am fighting for you. And I will not stop. I will not stop today. I will not stop tomorrow. You are loved. You matter. You belong here. Shut up! The best podcast in the universe.
Mofo.
Dvorak.org/NA.
I was like, is this what I want forever?